Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Thank you for coming. We're going to try to help Daniel's father getting some funding going to help him get tools and supplies and things that he needs. Um, so if you guys can please do that, we would appreciate you guys put anything will help. And also we'll have the what you call it's going to be rotating for the funding as also for the petition, so we can get the Buckeye Police Department to get off their butts. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. And I have Sophia with me, and I have Renegade with me. I don't know who else is going to hop up here with us, but you guys go ahead.
All right. I guess I'll go ahead and start, guys. I want to thank everybody who's coming in and listening to us tonight. Yunu and Renegade and John and a lot of us have been thinking about what can we do to help Mr. Robinson. And as of now, we need to get him more funding. It's very important that he has what he needs to continue his searches out in Arizona for his son. There's going to be funding that's also going to be needed to do DNA things that needed to be done. Yes. So this is the goal, guys, and this is the idea. What we are doing is we are challenging other channels and friends and family by sending them the link to the GoFundMe for Daniel Robinson. What you can do to help is go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, and on that website you will see a link to donate. And so the idea is to ask everybody that can, give up that Starbucks cup of coffee, even if it's $5 that you donate. And then what we'd like for you to do is challenge your friends and your family to donate that $5 or whatever you can donate, and pass that link on to the next person. And the idea is to start a chain of events where we're able to get the money for Mr. Robinson that he needs to keep going on his search for his son. He has been a military veteran, and he served our country and served it well. And now is the time that we need to step in and help him, because he needs us right now. The situation that he is in, none of us could do alone. So we need to try to pull other channels together, and anybody who can help us, we want and we need your help, whatever you can do. So tonight, the channels that I'm going to challenge to their subscribers, they need to place this challenge out as well, is John Q, Renegade, and Mr. Chris McDonough from the interview room. So you knew if you could pick at least 3 channels that we're going to send this challenge out to and ask them to help us challenge their subscribers, and their subscribers challenge their friends and family to donate that money, and to keep passing that link on until we're able to get the funds that we need to continue to help search for Daniel Robinson.
Okay, I'll challenge Miss V, MTGTV. I'll challenge Bossman Blake and Miss Q Carlock.
All right, Renegade, give us 3 channels you want to challenge them and their subs to help us get this money in that account to help Mr. Robinson continue.
I'm thinking.
Take your
and
time.
The Grizzlies. I got number 4. Grizzlies. The Grizzly. True crime. Grizzly true crime.
Who did you say you knew?
Q, MTGTV, and Boss Blake, and Q Carlock.
Okay, so I've got to see who I've got, who's on my friends or who I'm subscribed to.
Okay. And whoever else, if we don't name you, we didn't forget about you. We just have, there's so many out there. So whoever wants to get a funding going for Mr. David Robinson, for Daniel's father, that would be great. That's a challenge to everybody.
Let me challenge Lip Lock No More.
Yes, Lip Lock. I love her.
Let me challenge True Crime Commentary
Yes, Penny. Yes,
and Scott H.
Scott H. Yes. So that's a challenge for all these channels that we name, guys, and we need your help as much as we can get. We will take.
Yes.
Um, Today this idea came about because you knew and I, and we were sitting here thinking of what we can do, and today I challenged, excuse me, my phone shouldn't be going off, I should have the volume down. I challenged my mother, and my mother made her donation after my husband and I made ours, and now my aunt is to send that challenge to someone she knows, and then they will send it to someone they know. So as many as these chains that we can start to help getting this money flowing in to pleasehelpdaniel.com. You can click that donation link and it will take you directly to the GoFundMe page set up by Mr. Robinson. That is the only page that is affiliated with Mr. Robinson and his family. So you go directly to pleasehelpdaniel.com and you click that donate key and you'll be right where you need to be. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Pleasehelpfinddaniel.com.
Yes.
And I have this link in my phone. My husband has challenged some of his coworkers, and we got some eyes on the website today. So as many eyes as we can put on that website, the better.
Yes. 100%. 100%. If you guys anything, like she said, just challenge someone to donate anything. And if there's people that you know in Arizona, let them challenge them with, if they can't do anything with, paying anything or putting any money on any, donating anything, then let them go challenge by volunteering, helping with volunteering, petitions, all that. There's different things you could do. But right now, he really needs funding. Sorry?
Yeah, I was saying that they could go do the city searches or, register online to help. There's a spot on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com where they can also register to volunteer their time and, help in that manner as well.
Yes. So, and right now I need everybody, if whoever's in here, please share this out so we can get people in here. You don't have to be subscribed to me. That's not what we're doing right now. We're doing this for David Robinson, for Daniel's father, so we can get him some funding, so he can get him some help. Because obviously Buckeye Police Department is doing nothing to help him, sitting on their hands. So let's do this for Mr. David Robinson and Daniel. Renegade, anything?
Yeah, we will be working on all those people that we, channels that were challenged tonight. We want to send this video out to them so they're aware that they have now been challenged to help get that funding so the search for Daniel can continue.
Yes. I will do a clip of it and load it as a challenge for the different channels.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. I will definitely do that. Hello, Shay. How are you? Miss V, how are you? Miss D Love, how are you? Miss, who else is in here? I know Renegade is in here, and I know Sophia's in here. So let's get people in here, guys. Let's do this. Let's get this going. It's going to go straight to the funding, to the GoFundMe. We're not going to touch any of it. So let's go. Come on. We got to get this going. We got to get this money going so we can help him with whatever we can help him with.
And Mr. John Q and Mr. McDonough from the interview room. I'm sorry, I can't remember who the third channel I named was. I need to write it down. It was my third channel. Oh, it was Renegade. I apologize. We we're calling everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who can put this out to get the word out that we need to pull together and
Yes,
help Mr. Robinson, because right now he's in a situation that none of us ever want to be in. I
exactly.
can't stress enough that we need to do everything we can do to continue helping.
All right.
These are very unfortunate circumstances that he is in.
Yes.
Um, he should be getting help that he's not getting. So we're going to take matters into our own hands, and we're going to get him the help that he needs.
Yes.
Um, if I have to sit here every day and just start randomly sending things out, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
This is so important. Like I said, Mr. Robinson has honorably served in the United States military, and took care of us as citizens, and fought for our freedom, everything that he's done. So now is the time that we have to step in and help him when he needs our help.
Exactly. And he should not be the one trying to get his funding going. He's out there working every day diligently, every single day, looking for his son. On the weekend, which is Saturday, he has people who volunteer who help him to go find his son. I mean, and he's not just looking for his son, you guys. Throughout the week, he's also looking through for other people, helping other people with their lost ones, their missing people. So he does not need to be doing this work on his own as far as the funding. Let's get this funding going and let him do what he's doing to find his son and help others who are looking for their missing ones.
Yeah, none of us could do what Mr. Robinson is doing alone. That's why we have to pull together as people, and help him as much as we can. Whether that means you can give $5, whether you can give $10, whether you can just pass it on to someone else who you think can help out with this funding.
Exactly.
Every dollar and every time you send this link out, it helps.
Yes, definitely. 100%.
Renegade, would you like to add anything to what we're saying, sir?
No, not right now.
Okay.
So that's what we're just trying to get you guys to, not just you guys in here. I mean, like, share it to your family, even if it's $1. I mean, if that's all they can afford, then that's fine. $1 is better than no dollar. Because if
Yeah,
you think about it, we can get 100 people with $1. We got $100. If we can get
absolutely.
100 people with $5, then we got $500. So it adds up. It really does add up. He's needing a lot of money for tools and equipment to go find his son, and to be able to pay his PI and his attorney or whoever else he has to go pay because of the situation that's not of his fault. And I don't know how many of you guys know this, but there is foul play. 100%. I think there's foul play. I don't
Yeah,
think that this is a situation where he just came up missing and he took off his clothes and went off into the desert like they're saying. There
yeah.
is foul play. Sorry,
In
there
my
is foul
opinion
play.
as well.
Yes.
Yeah, a young man doesn't go missing with his keys, his wallet, his phone left in his vehicle, his clothing left outside of his vehicle, his shoes. Um, in my opinion, that screams foul play. And personally, I'm just amazed at what seems to be a lack of concern. This is not something he should be going through.
Right. Exactly. Sorry, my dog's over there whining. I think she has to go to the ladies' room. Can you hold me down for a second?
Yeah, we got you.
Thanks.
Yeah, guys, as I was saying, like, and I'm sure a lot of you probably think the same thing, we can look at the circumstances that were left, the telephone, the keys, no ID, clothes and shoes left outside of your vehicle. How far can a young man, even, a young healthy man like Daniel, actually get in the desert without his shoes and all the circumstances that we're talking about? Um, this should have been taken a lot more seriously, in my opinion, and it
Yes.
wasn't. And it's unfortunate that, we as citizens who are taxpayers have to do these things, but we will gladly do them because, whatever has happened to Daniel needs to be found out. And
Yes.
we're not going to give up. We're going to keep pushing until we get answers. Mr. Robinson isn't giving up. And so we're going to stand behind him and we're going to back him, and we're not going to give up either. We're going to keep looking for answers. And that's
Yes.
going to take funding. That's going to take time. That's going to take research. That's going to take effort. And, he needs everything we can possibly do to give him the answers that he needs. Whether it's we give up a $5 cup of coffee at Starbucks and put that money in there so he can continue these searches, so he can get the funding he needs for testing that, in my opinion, should have already been taken care of.
Yes, 100%. Okay, I'm getting ready to share this video with Mr. Robinson. I don't know who's seen this last night, but I was there the whole time, and I do want to share it with you guys in case you guys missed it. He did a live asking for help. Shouldn't have to ask for help. All right.
Good morning. My name is David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson, who went missing on June 23rd, 2021, while he was at his job site in a remote area of the desert of Buckeye, Arizona. As you know, I have been here since June the 26th, 2021, in search of my son. And I come here today to tell you a little bit about that. And also come to you today to plead for your help. As you know, the first thing I've done since I've been here was two things. I started working really hard to try to find a way to get out there in that desert to search for my son. The other thing is I had to start my own investigation. And the reason why I had to do those two things is because I felt dissatisfied with the performance of the local police department. First, they did not have the urgency there to go search my son. That prompted me to move faster to get here in Arizona to look for my son myself. Regardless of the fact if this department was looking for my son or not, which they hadn't done, I would have been here anyway. But like I said, with the slow movement, I had to move quickly. Because as we know that the first 24 to 40 hours is
Sorry about that. We do. I was muted. Sorry.
That's
Um,
okay.
yeah, I'm gonna be showing the video through the whole video, but I have to stop here and there because I don't want to get a copyright and end up having to delete this video when it's so crucial to have this out there so you guys could understand the desperate, how desperate he is to be able to stay there and help his son find his son, because without this money, he's not going to be able to do this. He needs this money. So everybody, please share it out. We would appreciate it, truly appreciate it.
Crucial in finding the person when they're going missing. Like I said, the first two things I did was try to find a way to find my son myself, and the other is to get information to what happened to my son. I was able to secure a meeting with the young man the gentleman that saw my son last at that well site. I met him right outside of Sun Valley Parkway and near Cactus Road, entrance to that well site. We had a discussion there where my investigation first started. I had gotten all the information I needed from him, his story, and I was able to document those things. Secondly, I tried to work with the Buckeye Police Department in conjunction with them to see if they do an investigation. To my avail, I found that they wasn't. One of their key reasons why there wasn't an investigation is because
like I said, Buckeye Police Department is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that is looking for his son. Thank you, Shay. Looking for his son. They should be looking for his son, not him. This is not a citizen's job. Everybody, this is not a citizen's job. This is the job for the police to be looking for his son, not just sitting on their. Oh, let me turn it down. Give me a second. Thank you, Ms. V.
Hi, Shay, Faith. Thank you for being here tonight.
Yes, we appreciate you, girlfriend. We really appreciate you, Shay. Okay, so as I was saying, sorry about that. If the music was too loud, they should be doing this, not the citizens in Buckeye or his father looking for him. I mean, yes, you're going to look for your kid, regardless if they're helping or not, but they're not helping. He's doing all the work. He and his volunteers are doing all the work. This is not what should be going on. I mean, if I was in this situation, I would be asking for help as well. And I would hope that everybody would help me. And the same thing, if you guys were going through this, if I could help you, I will help you. I wish I could go over there and help him, but I can't at this time. But when I do get a chance to go out to Arizona, if this is still going on, I will definitely be there to help.
Yeah, guys, it's time for us to show up and show out and get that money in that account so he can continue to do the searching and the testing that needs to be done in this case.
They didn't see it as a criminal act. And my son had the right to leave on his own if he wanted to. And without anything that suggests that it was criminal or he is a dangerous person, they couldn't move. They couldn't get things like cell phone pings that they told me they couldn't get. They couldn't get the information off the Uconnect from his vehicle. They couldn't get camera information off the roads that we asked for. Anything we asked for, satellite imagery, they couldn't get any of those things. Being dissatisfied, of course, the kind of father that I am, I had to find ways to do that myself too. Being that we was unable to get things like cell phone pings from the cell phone company, I was able to get some information like bank statements and things like that I still have to this day. Things that I even offer.
So you guys are hearing what they're saying? I mean, what he's saying in here? He's saying that he has all his things. He has all his things. He should not have all his things. If there's an investigation going on, the cops are supposed to have everything. The police department should have everything they need to go look for Daniel. He has everything. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then the pinging, and then the missing SD card, which is the memory that adds memory to his phone, is missing. I mean, who would just take out their SD card and then go off somewhere? Come on, he's got family who loves him. He loves his family. He stays in touch with his family, and why would he do something like this? There's no way. Foul play, 100%.
Yeah, this situation, Mr. Robinson was handed back his son's clothes in a brown paper bag. They were kept for safekeeping. Now, I want you guys to imagine this for a second. Imagine seeing your child's vehicle like this and knowing his keys, his wallet, his phone was left in that vehicle, his clothing, his shoes left outside of the vehicle, and being handed back his things in a brown paper bag. Now, Renegade, you can help me out with this because I don't know the chemical terms, but when those airbags deployed from that vehicle, okay, they would have came in contact with Daniel. There would be, even though there's no blood, there would be some sort of DNA, whether it's, skin particles, anything left on those airbags. And when an airbag deploys, what makes it deploy? It releases a chemical. And if you go and you look online and you look when airbags come out, you will see people that get like a chemical burn. That's what makes those airbags come out. So those clothes should be looked at to see if those chemicals are on that clothing to make sure that Daniel was in that vehicle when airbags deployed. Renegade, help me out. So what are those chemicals that are released that we looked at that should have made contact with Daniel, therefore would have been on his clothing?
Give me 1 second.
Thank you, sir.
No, I
so-
got them saved somewhere.
All right.
So
While
you
he
guys
does
think
that,
about that for a second. When those airbags pop out, they pop out with a force to stop you from being injured. Okay, so those chemicals that make that airbag deploy, if you look at pictures of someone who's gotten chemical burns from an airbag, that's the chemical. When those airbags come out, they would have touched Daniel's clothing. Okay.
right.
In my opinion, that clothing should have been looked at to see if those chemicals were on that clothing.
Right.
There are things that need to be done that take funding, and that's where we come in because Mr. Robinson can't do everything himself. So we have to step in as citizens to help him as much as we possibly can, whatever that may be, and that's what we plan to do.
It's called sodium azide.
So that's the chemical that's in the airbags that's causing people. I mean,
That's the
whoever.
chemical that
Go ahead.
it takes an electrical charge to trigger it to make the airbag explode and convert into nitrogen gas inside of the airbag.
Can you explain a little bit about what could have happened as far as an accident? What would cause it in the accident that would cause it to do that? Like, what kind of accident would it take?
Bender could cause it. I mean, anything can cause it because of where the sensors are on the vehicle. And
Okay.
on Daniel's vehicle, there's one sensor in the front of the vehicle.
Okay.
There's one sensor in the rear of the vehicle, or should be. And then there should be a sensor in each one of the doors. So there should be 6 sensors. And the sensors are located in the back, it's located right around the middle. And in the front, it's located a little to the right of the center of the vehicle. So if those sensors registers an impact of, I'm thinking it's like 15 miles per hour impact, they will trigger the airbag.
Yeah, so when those airbags came out, if Daniel was in the vehicle, when those airbags deployed, those chemicals would have transferred to that clothing. His DNA would have transferred to that airbag. So, I want you guys to think for a second that Mr. Robinson was given his son's clothing back in a paper bag. That should not happen in this situation. Um, in my opinion, this should have been taken a lot more seriously. So we're
Exactly.
going to continue every single day to help him as much as we can till he gets the answers that he deserves to have.
You also
Yes.
have a powdery substance on the airbags to help keep keep the moisture away from it. It's called sodium hydroxide. So either one of those chemicals would have, if any of those chemicals would have been on his clothes, then we would have known for a fact that he was behind the wheel when the airbags went off.
That's right.
But we wouldn't know if he was behind the wheel when the vehicle went into the ravine. To me, it it don't look like anybody was in the vehicle when it went into the ravine. But that's just my opinion.
I agree. I agree. Okay, we're gonna
I've looked
use.
I've
The
Go
looked at
ahead.
all of
testing
them.
that he needs will get him closer to the answers because if you can get that testing done, that eliminates certain scenarios.
Right.
Well, you also got to look at another thing, Sophia. On the airbags, you would have saliva on the airbag. You would have
Exactly. Exactly.
perspiration or sweat, or I mean, you would have a number of bodily functions on that airbag.
Right. Exactly.
So there would be DNA. There would be
Yes.
different
And like
things
I said,
from.
guys, I'm sure we don't want to throw the images up because it can be somewhat disturbing. But as a group, we have looked at pictures of people who have been in accidents and come in contact with airbags. And the chemical that is dispersed when those airbags deploy can cause serious chemical burns. And that's the chemical we're discussing right now.
Yes.
Now, one thing
Yes.
that we need to tell the people also is that the physical part of the airbags doesn't hurt everyone the same.
Right.
Correct.
I mean, I have seen people that walked away from a crash that the airbags came out, they never got a burn.
Right.
Right. Right.
And then
But they probably
I
still
have
would have
seen
had
them
some
come
sort of
out with,
residue.
yeah. I mean, there's going to be residue on your clothes because it comes out. I mean, it don't you everybody thinks it comes out real fast. I mean, yeah, it does to a point, but what I've been reading up on is that it only comes out like 8 psi, and that don't seem like a lot, but when it comes to a small airbag, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It has to it has to come out in a fast enough way where it's going to keep your body weight from going into the steering wheel or going into the glass.
Yes.
So I mean, if and you have sensors in your seat to let the airbags know approximately how much you weigh and all like that, just so that it knows how fast it needs to come out. Because like a heavier person, it the airbags come out faster. Lighter person, it'll come out a little bit slower. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I was actually pulling up some injuries. I'm gonna show you a few. Hopefully it won't be too much for your stomachs to handle, but some of them are kind of gruesome. I'm not gonna show a lot like the bad ones. I'll show you them not as bad. So give me a second. Let me pull it up. Give me a second. This is That's one of them. That's one of the ones that That's the kind of damage you get from that, from an airbag.
So you could imagine that some sort of DNA in a situation like this is going to transfer to an airbag,
Right.
and that chemical is going to transfer onto the person to some degree.
This is another one. I don't want to show you the really bad ones because, I don't want to get this channel struck in any way, but I just wanted to show you guys the damage that an airbag can do. That's another one that the airbag can do as well. No, not who is dead. No, you're talking about the one that's on this thing? No, they're not dead. There's damage to these people from the airbags.
And a lot of that's just the chemicals getting into the
Their
people's
skin.
eyes
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, and making it bleed too.
Yeah, that chemical when it comes out of those airbags is no joke.
Exactly. All right, let me show you another one. This is somebody's face going into an airbag. Those airbags, when they deploy, this is what, and then they pop open. This is some damage here. Those are test dummies. That's what would show on an airbag from someone getting hurt from the airbag.
And that's if it has brought blood.
Right. They have multiple airbags in there that deploy, depending on how bad the accident is. This one deployed here and here. Well, they got test dummies. That's another one. That's just the bag up in their face. They're just
Most
showing
definitely, Miss V, that DNA, in my opinion, would definitely have transferred
at
to
this.
that airbag.
Window comes in, the airbags are deployed. That's a bad accident right there. Here's another one with the airbags deploying. They come out of this part of your steering wheel. They're not like coming out of here or anything. They're coming out of your actual steering wheel. They coming out from here. Some have them in the sides as well.
And some are in the
Coming out the
seats.
dashboards. Okay.
You have some in the seats. I think
Okay.
on Daniel's, he had some on around the shoulders.
Okay.
And then he had some around the knees that popped out too.
Okay. So see, this is another one. Here's some airbags that are opening up. They're showing you the types of airbags there is in different cars. You said 8 miles an hour, right?
8 psi.
8
It's
psi.
pounds per square inch.
Okay. And do you know what the speed of that is, or would you not know? No? Okay.
Let me see.
Got that. I mean, anything. Most of the time, it's front end that causes these the worst airbags deploying. So, I'm not going to share anymore, but let's go to his video real quick and do a little more. Let me share it. Yes, airbags, they all cause damage. But they say it's better than getting killed. That's basically what they try to make us believe.
Well, they do not have any hard copies of anything like that. So, like I said, I had to go through those things myself, his phone records, and try to find information that I can get. And then I had to utilize the Buckeye Police Department report to get other information that I may have been missing to do comparisons as I go along. In the meantime, I was out there working day and night trying to get media coverage for my son. because the two things needed to happen. I needed to start the search so I can get out there in this desert, to get to this location where my son was last seen. I wanted to see it for myself. And the other thing is to also get the word out into the streets so people can be aware of what's going on. If they see anything, that would help me in my investigation. So I was able to do that by spending many nights out there doing research about the desert, reaching out to groups.
Look at this. He had to do research. He had to go look for his son. Where I'm not hearing Buckeye had to. And there should be, they are the ones that should be looking for his son, not him. I mean, yes, like I said, help them. That's fine. But they're the ones who should be looking for his son. They should be the ones doing all this diligent work that the father is doing. Yes, it is ridiculous, Miss V. It is very ridiculous.
Imagine what Mr. Robinson is already going through, for him
Yes.
to not get the support that he needs, as citizens, as people, when we see something like this, this should make us angry. And, we have to hold the police accountable. There's a bare minimum, in my opinion, that they should be doing. And even the bare minimum wasn't even reached in this situation.
Right. Exactly. That's what I don't understand. I really don't understand that. Like, I mean, you got some people are getting all the help in the world and some they're not doing anything for.
On social media to find out if there's anybody out there who know anything about that desert and how to start a search. I was fortunate to run into one gentleman who was willing to tell me about that area, who's willing to help me as much as he could. I started a website called pleasehelpfinddaniel.com so that I can pass out information on what I'm doing and why I'm trying to start a search. And if anybody out there to help me, they can. But with this gentleman who knew a lot about.
Explain to me, why is he looking for people to help him? I don't get this. Why is he the one doing all the work? I really don't get why he's the one doing all the work. Yes, he has volunteers helping him, but he got these volunteers to work, come and help him. Not the Buckeye Police Department. He did. He got these people out there to help him, not the police department.
The desert, because he lives in Buckeye, we was able to start a second website, searchfordaniel.org, what we're using as a catalyst to start the searches, to get people involved, to organize, and then get people out there on the ground. As you know, I was able to do that. Able to start my searches, my weekly searches, what we call our weekly organized search. But that didn't stop.
You heard right, weekly. Every Saturday since his son came up missing, he's been searching for his son. And through the week, like I said earlier, he's helping others as well as still looking for his son through the week on his own. And he's helping other families to try to help find their family members that are missing.
Okay, I put the answer to the miles per hour in chat.
1.16. Okay, 1.16. Hello, Sherry. How are you? And yes, he is a veteran. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we
He
can
should
get
not be
the
begging. He should not be begging.
I'm sorry. We can get
Right.
the moderators in this video, so when people go to view it, to drop the link for pleasehelpfinddaniel.com.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, guys. Every one of you are amazing.
Thank you.
Stop us from also coming in the weekdays. I didn't encourage that, but we also had searches, people who was very dedicated at the beginning, who wanted to help every day of the week because they had time off during the week, or they could come out on the weekends on the organized search. As you know, my search first started from Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road, covering the area of that we only knew about, and that's where my son was last seen. That's the well site. The first thing I did when I got to the well site on my first search was to put myself in my son's shoes. Again, doing my own investigation.
which he shouldn't have to do by himself. The police department should be helping him. Buckeye Police Department should be helping him look for his son. Instead of him sitting here begging for someone to, pay for this and that because of he's desperate. He's looking for his son. I would be desperate looking for my kids.
Yeah, this is not a worry that, he should be having on top of probably all the feelings that he's
Exactly.
feeling. And Mr. Robinson, he's a very strong man, you can tell, and he's an extraordinary dad. Of course, he's going to, do everything he can do to go look for his son, but, he should have this more support from
Yes.
the police department there. It's
100%.
just, in my opinion, it's just not acceptable.
See, in my opinion, this whole case has never been investigated as a missing person.
Never.
Yes, I agree.
And I've looked at a bunch of missing people out of Arizona, and the most that I have seen is most of them are labeled as runaways.
Hmm.
They're not labeled as missing, they're labeled as runaways. Like your teens, they're
Yeah.
runaways. They're not missing, they're runaways. It
Wow.
seems like everybody out there in Arizona, they don't go missing, they run away.
Which makes no sense.
Exactly.
So, are you trying to tell me that your state has nothing but runaways, like they're not happy where they are, so they have to run? And no, we don't believe you, Buckeye. What we believe is you're lazy and you're sitting on your hands till they go numbed.
It's a lot, in my opinion, it's a lot easier to put down runaways on a piece of paper because you only have so much that you can do with a runaway. When
Exactly.
it comes to a missing person, you have to do a lot more. You have to do a lot more work. And in my opinion, I don't think they're wanting to do all this work. I mean, I understand. I
Any.
understand that there's other crimes going on. But still, if you ain't got, if a police department don't have the manpower, ask another police department.
Yeah, pull in other resources. And guys, we're not sitting here trying to bash police officers. Our police
Oh no,
officers work in
I've
our
got
communities
friends that are
to
police
help.
officers. Good police.
Yeah.
Police.
But what we are saying is do better. Do better, because anyone can look at these circumstances and see that the job that was done, in my opinion, is just not acceptable. And like I said, we're not trying to bash the police. That's not
You
what
don't
we're here
want
to
me
do.
to give
We're
my
trying to
full
hold them
opinion on this.
accountable and say do better.
Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying as well, Sophia, that I'm not bashing all police. I'm bashing the ones that are not doing anything but sitting on their butts and doing nothing
Right.
about this case.
Right.
This is what's going on. I do not have hate for any cops, but I don't like what they're doing to this child that's missing
I'm
and
gonna tell
making
you,
the father do all this work. This is ridiculous. I don't get this. I'm very angry with it when it comes to this. I'm angry, emotional, and you'll probably hear me cry in a minute, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
well, the stuff I would like to say, like to talk about, I couldn't talk about it on YouTube. I'd be struck from YouTube. I wouldn't never be able to come back on YouTube.
Yeah, all three of us in this room, there's times that we have chats privately where, we just have to get the curse words out because of how ridiculous this situation seems to be.
I'll tell you one thing. I would make with what I'd like to say. I would make a sailor blush.
Yeah, we're trying to, keep our emotions in check, and, this is alive, but, as you guys can imagine, there's words we want to use that aren't appropriate. As many of you who are probably looking at this case as well.
Oh, I wish that we could come on here and talk about everything,
I
but we
know.
can't.
Not yet. Okay, go ahead and show some more.
Based on everything that I've heard from Buckeye Police Department and the gentleman that seen my son last at that well site, I put myself in that son's shoes. I looked around as if I was looking around, staring off into the desert to see what I can see. I wrote those things down, made a record of it, and I kept it pushing. Of course, we covered all the area, like I said, around that well site as much as we can. Not knowing everything about that desert, we just followed trails, looking for a vehicle, looking for a sign of my son. Many days and many weeks. As you know, on July the 19th, 2021, a rancher out there in the desert searching for his cattle, tracking them down, ran into my son's vehicle in this ravine right here behind me in this situation. As we all know now, everything my son was wearing on his body was on the ground in a pile, a few feet away from that vehicle.
So, what do you guys think? Is that something that he should be going through by himself, doing a search and asking for funding? If we can help him, please. I mean, anything would help. Better than nothing. I mean, anything you can, if you haven't signed a petition, go sign a petition. If you have a few dollars on you and you could help, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm sure he'd appreciate any amount of money. Anything to help. If you're in Arizona, go help and volunteer. Volunteer your time. On the website, as you can see, even the bot, the Nightbot has the different places that you can go to sign a petition, to do the GoFundMe. Everything is directly easy for you to go to do. And we would truly appreciate it. And I know David Robinson would appreciate it as well.
Things like all his clothing, his underwear, his shoes, his socks, his wallet, his cell phone was inside the vehicle. Those are the things that made me really, really push my own investigation forward. And the reason why I started my own investigation, keeping records, recording everything I did with the Buckeye Police Department, recording phone calls, recording meetings, because I had a feeling that one day these things would come in handy, and today they'd have. So I continued my investigation.
Again, he's continuing the investigation, not Buckeye. Not Buckeye Police Department. He's continuing it. Please.
Before we start again, I'm sorry, before we start the video again, one thing I want to say is, guys, that's why this challenge we're putting out there tonight is so important, that we get this funding. It's critical to keep this search going. It costs money, and that's not something Mr. Robinson should have to worry about. So, this is the time for us to show up and, get that funding, as much of it as we can, so he can focus on finding Daniel. So tonight, guys, I want to challenge everybody to put whatever your heart is on your heart, to put it into the account for Daniel by visiting pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. And then what we'd like for you to do is challenge another person and ask your friends, your family, to just keep that challenge going, because the more of these chains we can start to keep that funding coming in, the better it is, and we can keep Mr. Robinson focused on the search and not having to worry about funding.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that 100%. So come on, you guys, do what you can. If you can't, pass it on to someone who can. And I think on the GoFundMe, can't you put like a little note to let someone know, like if somebody else recommended you to come do the, to put the, to do a donation, that you would be able to put a little note in there as well, right?
Yeah, I
Because
do
I've
think
seen
that
people
there's a
notes.
section for that, if I'm
Right.
not mistaken.
Right. That's what I thought. So, and there's another thing you can do. You can, I mean, if you're not able to, you can send someone else to do it and have them put your name in it if that's what you want to do. You can do that. And that way, at least he knows someone else is saying, passing it on to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. Someone, anyone, please help him. We would appreciate it. I'm going to go back to the video, you guys. If you don't have anything else to say,
No, ma'am. Thank you.
no problem.
Investigation by hiring a private investigator who could tell me what happened to my son's vehicle, because I was dissatisfied with the story from the local police department, who told me that this vehicle turned over and flipped over and rolled and bounced. And somehow, with all of that, my son escaped injury. There was no blood found in the vehicle, but yet at the same time, they say they believe he had a severe head injury. Hearing those contradictory things, I just knew something wasn't right. As a layperson, I can look on this ground and see my son's clothing. Some say I may be a little biased. Yes, I could say that. I'm a father. My son was in this thing or was not in this thing. But all I know, his clothing was on the ground.
So he's saying that he doesn't know if his son was in that car or not. In the Jeep. We don't know. But it does not look to be that he was in that Jeep. With all the information that we have gotten, it sounds so much like 100% foul play. That's what I think. Renegade, do you have anything to say?
I would have to agree with the foul play. I mean, I don't think it was anything other than foul play.
Right. And all he's doing right now is he's trying to get help so he can get the tools and the equipment that he needs to go look for his son and to pay whoever it is, because everybody doesn't do pro bono, meaning, that they don't want to do anything for free. Somebody wants to get paid for whatever it is that they're doing for him. So he has to get the funding to help. Mr. David Robinson, if you guys didn't know, lives in South Carolina. Okay. He came out to Arizona to look for his son. He had to stop everything, absolutely everything that he's doing in South Carolina, just so he can come look for his son. It's not his fault with what happened. His son just turned 25, January 14th. Just turned 25 years old. When he was missing, he had not that long ago before that, 6 months before he had just, right before he turned, before that, he had just turned 24 years old. And he's been missing over 7 months now. On the 23rd of this month, he'll be missing 8 months. Can we not please? Let's not let his father suffer much longer. We need to find Daniel. He needs the equipment. He needs the tools. He needs the help. If it was you, wouldn't you want someone to help you? Anybody has anything to say before I put the video on?
Yeah, guys, it's just a laundry list of things that this funding goes to help. It will go to help the testing that he still needs to have done. These all-terrain vehicles and things that they use in the desert, these things have to be rented. They have to be gassed. There's attorneys that have to be paid. There's, other family members that have to still be taken care of in South Carolina. Currently, this is what Mr. Robinson has to do full time. So the laundry list just goes on and on and on and on. And that's where we come in and we come together and we help him keep these things running so he can focus on Daniel.
Exactly. Renegade, anything?
No.
All I know is that the vehicle's found in the ravine looking like that. All I know is that if So anybody was in an accident like that, I would think there would be some indication of some type of injury. We've seen far less damage on vehicles where people are injured. So dissatisfied with what I seen, I continued my investigation. Like I said, I hired my own investigator to tell me what happened to this vehicle, which he did. He and I spent many days contemplating on everything that he found. And with this evidence, we was very worried of why the local police department, who's in charge of this case, did not act. Reluctantly, as always done, has on everything I found, everything my investigator found, to the Buckeye Police Department. When we did so,
Okay, so I want to point something out to you guys. Look where the Jeep is, okay? Look where the Jeep is. Look where the clothing is. Are you telling me he either rolled the car backwards because, he took off his clothes and the car rolled backwards back here, or he came this way and walked up this steep hill and took off his clothes? I call this foul play, 100%. Are you kidding me? Why would they think we're dumb enough to believe what they're saying over there, in Arizona? Come on, please. You guys have anything to say? So annoying.
No, I think that pretty much cleared it up. Yes, I'd have to agree, in my opinion, that you look at this situation, and I have no degree in law enforcement, never been in law enforcement, but as an outsider looking into a situation, I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, how is this possible that this is not being looked at as, possibly foul play? The right things needed to happen. In my opinion, they didn't happen. So,
Exactly.
we have to step in. Mr. Robinson is, doing everything that he can possibly do to find Daniel. We need to be his support system right now.
Exactly. Renegade, anything?
No, not right now.
Okay. So, as I said, he dropped his clothes off right here after he wrecked his Jeep, walked up this hill and took his clothes off and walked into the desert. That's what they want him to believe, his father to believe. Or he took off his clothes and the car rolled backwards. I mean, come on. If somebody tells me this is less than foul play, I don't know what they're thinking.
we didn't get the response that we thought we would get. Because our goal was to work with the Buckeye Police Department to share what we found and to hopefully get some things that we hope that they found. And we come to an answer to find out what happened to my son. Instead of having the opportunity to work together, that department shut down on me. They would not answer my calls anymore. They wouldn't reach out to me for a while. In fact, the relationship had gotten so bad that they decided to get an investigator of their own, not accepting what we found here at the scene, not accepting all the evidence that we found. Instead, they, like I said, take resources of their own to find their own.
So, like he just said, you forgot. Don't forget the one shoe. Yeah, so he's got like one boot up here. Hold on, I'm gonna point to it. Exactly. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you, D Love. So he has a boot over here, okay, and there's a boot like up under, like close to where in this area, like somewhere in there. I can't exactly point because it can't get under there. But that's another thing. So basically, he's over here looking for his son, and the police department stopped helping. I mean, like they stopped at the tracks and just said, okay, we're not helping anymore. Like, well, what's going on here? It looks like a case of foul play. Something happened to Daniel. And they stopped helping him? Why did you stop helping him? What is the reason behind you stopped helping him?
I like to call it a DLR, which is what Mr. McDonough from the interview interview room likes to say quite often, it doesn't look right.
Yeah, it doesn't look right.
Okay, I got
It
a
does
question.
not look right. Go
What
ahead.
part of this case does look right?
None of
None.
it.
None. I mean, like, okay, I if they don't have anything, I'm not saying they have anything to do with what happened. If there's nothing to hide, they should be helping, looking for his son, regardless of what they think. If there's nothing to hide, they should be out there looking for Daniel with the father and with the volunteers. Come on, this doesn't make any sense. If I'm guilty of something, I'm gonna stay back. I'm gonna, I mean, like they're doing. I would literally not do anything because it's like, oh, I'm guilty of it. If you're guilty, that's what. If you're not guilty, then why are you making things look like you're guilty? To me, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there's some guilt going on that's causing them to not want to do any work, help the father to look for the son. This is ridiculous. He's not the only case out there that they're looking for. There's other missing people they're looking for. He and his volunteers have found human remains. They have one case that they solved in Florida. They solved that case. They found the human remain. The skull belonged to someone in the family in Florida. So if they can do it and they can find these human remains, why isn't Buckeye able to find them? You know why? Because they're not looking. They're not looking. They're just sitting there. They're not doing anything. That's why.
Yeah, I don't quite understand how a citizen can be out looking for his son and yet come across these things. You know, that's because, the police department should have been out there doing, the searches, in my opinion, a lot more than they were. I'm not there. I really can't speak on to, exactly how many times or when they've been there, but I think I have somewhat of an understanding of it. And, it's just, imagine that, out there looking for your child and, you're like, what in the world? You're coming across, skeletal remains. I mean, how is it that this citizen, this father that's looking for his son is coming across these things and, looking at the situation with Daniel's vehicle and everything, why aren't the police department out there, especially since, human remains have been discovered by volunteers while they're looking for his son?
Sorry. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Sorry about that. Yeah. So
Okay,
are you?
I know.
Go ahead.
I know between 17 to 20 missing people just out of Buckeye alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys, if you take a look at the
And that's
missing
count
people in
Daniel.
that area, it's quite shocking.
Yeah.
Some of the
Very.
things that we've looked at and came across, when you look at the amount of people in that county and surrounding counties, it's kind of mind blowing. I mean, I know crimes happen all across this country, but it seems to be a pattern of events that is going on, through a period of time in that area, in my opinion.
I don't know if you guys know about this lady. Her name is Irene Luravano. How do you say her last name again?
It was Irene Luavano, I believe.
Luavano. Let me tell you something. My own ears, Daniel's father, told me that one day, that the day that they, it was like 30 minutes after they found her, but before that, right before that, we text each other, okay? And he told me he was on his way to go help that family go look for Irene. But then
Hey,
they
guys.
ended up finding her, and she had been, she was passed away already.
This was I want to say, when was it? You knew it was probably a little over a week ago or so.
Mhm.
I can't be quite certain of the time, but this young lady, unfortunately, had lost her life, and she was an individual that was separated from her vehicle as well. There's another case not too far from where Daniel's case happened by a gentleman of the name of Benjamin Anderson. And, if you have time, take a moment to also read up on, Mr. Benjamin Anderson's case. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But if you take a look at some of those things, in my opinion, there there are some similarities.
Yes.
Whether this is coincidental, where they're two different things, I have no idea. But when you look at the volume of people that are missing from Maricopa County and some of the surrounding, counties over a period of time,
This is him.
it's quite staggering.
And they found his car looking like that.
I just went through 17 of the missing people at a Buckeye, and 6 were located somewhere off of Sun Valley Parkway. And that's not counting Daniel.
Right.
So with Daniel, that makes 7 located off of Sun Valley Parkway.
This girl is missing. She's missing.
No,
There's
she's
still.
been found. She's been found. That was an
That's
older
right.
case.
That's the one that was found. Okay.
That was an older case, but she was also separated from her vehicle. Now, the circumstances surrounding that case, I'm not quite sure,
Right.
but if you read her case, you'll also see another similarity. This young lady was separated from her vehicle, but unfortunately, she
She
did
was
survive.
found.
They found
Right.
her in the desert, dehydrated, and if you read some of the stories, they really
Critical
don't talk
condition.
about exactly what happened, but her vehicle was located and she was off about, I want to say, when I looked through it, it was a little over 30 minutes separated from her vehicle, and she had been missing for 6 days. And thank goodness that she was found alive, severely
Yeah.
dehydrated. And some of the articles really don't speak, or her family don't really speak, as far as what I could tell, exactly what the circumstances surrounding her disappearance and her separation from her vehicle and her being so far apart from it. But you
Right.
will see some similarities to some of these things.
Yeah. Yeah. I was saying she was missing, but I was going to say she was found. But that's like another case in Arizona.
Yeah.
Missing. What's going on with all these people being missing in Arizona? Like it's an ongoing thing. Yeah, I know she was found, and that's a good thing. Thank God for that. But she was in critical condition. She's dehydrated. Why? How did she come up missing? They need to find out why she came up missing. I don't know if they're going to be like getting the information, or they're going to be able to get the information from her. I don't know. All I know is that that's another one missing. Thank God she was alive, and we're hoping maybe Daniel still is alive. And
Yeah, when I
freaking,
looked at that case, I misread it. That case is that was
oh,
last year. I
well,
misread
that
some of
was
the dates.
last
It
year.
was Yeah, it was a year old. I misread the date on it. But yeah, that was
Oh,
another situation with an individual separated from their vehicle, and their vehicle was nowhere near where they were recovered from.
okay.
Now
All right.
there's another person.
Sorry about that, guys.
There's another person out of Texas. He's been
Mm-hmm.
missing since 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Everything with the Daniel Robinson case matches to his case. He disappeared. All of his clothes were found near his vehicle. His vehicle was crashed. His wallet was there. A backpack full of his belongings was there. His phone was there. Everything except for him.
You talking about Jason Laundry, right?
Yep.
All right. Jason Laundry is who he's talking about. Let me see if they have a picture of him on here. I can show you guys. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize that on the
And
date.
as
I didn't
far
know.
as I know, last I
That was my
checked,
fault.
they have not found Jason yet.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, even if it is old, still 2021. This is crazy how, this has been going on as far as from my pickup. It's been going on since 2021. We don't know what's been going on beyond that. I mean, we're looking into the cases now. We're not looking into the older cases because
Right.
this is what's going on now. What's people coming up missing left and right in Buckeye, Arizona, and areas of Buckeye,
Well,
like
but
Phoenix,
Jason
Arizona.
Landry,
Go
The
ahead.
Jason Landry case is so
Texas.
similar to Daniel, and I mean, yeah, I mean it's 1,200 miles away, but
Right.
still, look how similar all of the stuff is. All
Yeah.
his clothes is there, even down to his underwear.
Yeah.
There was one little blood spot on his underwear. That was it. No other blood.
Mm.
His back windshield was busted out.
Mm-hmm.
He had crashed. The vehicle was still running when a volunteer firefighter found it.
Mm-hmm.
Keys was still in the ignition.
Mm-hmm.
His phone was still in the car.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's times that I'll leave the house and I'll forget my phone at home.
Right.
But 9 out of 10 times, I've got my phone with me.
Yeah.
You never know when you're gonna break down, and if you ain't got your phone with you, how you gonna be able to call for help? So I
Right.
mean, a lot of this stuff is, I mean,
Not making
it
sense
yeah, a lot of these cases are not making sense one bit.
at all.
And
At all.
that's just like, which one was the one from up north? I can't think of it. The last one, Jelani Day.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that stuff is similar to Daniel Robinson.
Yeah. And you know what I noticed too that makes is similar as well. The familiar part of it is to me is they're educated,
Well,
college educated people
this
that are
Jason
missing.
Laundrie was a 21-year-old college student.
Educated. What's going on with this educated people? Don't they want them educated and out there learning things and knowing things? Or is it because things are, they're figuring things out that they don't want them to figure out? That's the only thing I could think of.
The
Sorry.
only thing that I could find out that was different between the Jason Laundrie and the Jelani Day and the Daniel
I'm
Robinson
sorry, guys. Please excuse me. I'm going to mute out for a minute.
Okay.
is that Jason was a white guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only difference I could find between the three cases. But there's similarities on all three.
Right. And so is uh, Benjamin Anderson. He's white as well, but they're all
Exactly.
educated. It's the education part that, that I don't understand.
What's
Don't you
getting
want
me
anybody educated out here?
what's getting me when the police or when the community does find these people,
Mm-hmm.
they're not close to the vehicles.
Right.
That's like with Jelani Day.
Right.
Look where they found him at. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't close to his vehicle.
Right.
When they found Anderson, he was like 30 miles away from where his vehicle was.
Yep.
I mean, they haven't found Lon Jason yet, and they haven't found Daniel yet.
Right.
So, I mean, in my opinion, I think that the criminals are getting smarter,
Yeah.
and the police
Or
are not keeping up.
Yeah. Yep.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I know.
I don't want to say it, but
Yep. Yep. The criminals are smarter and the cops are laid back and relaxing.
yeah,
I said it.
that's a nice way of saying it.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go with the video.
Investigator to back up their story that I found uncredible. Because it's hard for me to believe that my son was in this vehicle damaged just like that, and nobody to this day can find him. He just simply disappeared. So like I said, I continued my own search. I focused on my own search because I knew I couldn't rely on anybody from a department, from people who were sworn to protect and serve me, my family, and everybody alike in this country. I was able to expand my search because this vehicle was found on July the 19th, like I said. That very weekend after the vehicle was found, I expanded my search to not only cover the well site, but also to cover this crash site where this vehicle was found. And so in my meetings, I decided to have our searches based on a theory and also science, to where a person can walk with a possible head injury, with no clothes on his body, with that terrain, the desert heat at the time because it's in the summer, and all the conditions like the animals that's out there, the wildlife, to the Hassalpa River, the Wagner washes, and things like that. So after we got those calculations in, we expanded our searches based on those areas where we.
What's going on here? They're not doing anything. He's looking for everything. He's doing the looking. He and his volunteers are looking for Daniel. And when they're not looking for, when the volunteers aren't there, he's on his own, you guys. Trust me, he's doing this. He's doing everything he can to find his son. He needs you guys' help. Please, please, if you guys are not able to pass this on to whoever can, any amount of money, any denomination, any amount of money would help.
We couldn't cross, which was really hard at that time because of the water that flows through the Hassalpa River here and there. We couldn't get on the other side of that, so we had to keep our searches close to the east side of the Hassalpa River. But we was able to cover a lot of ground, putting hard, vigorous work for weeks. As you may understand, that costs a lot of resources. And every week we use a lot of resources. And so that's the reason why it was very important when I first started my searches to open up a GoFundMe. Because as you know, I have came here from.
Okay. Again, GoFundMe. He had to go to the GoFundMe on his own and do this. Instead of them helping him and investigating him, not only investigating, but looking, getting the clothing and checking the chemicals and checking it for DNA or whatever it is that they do at the police, finding, the forensics, looking in the area, searching the area where the Jeep was, the day that it was there, the day they found it. They're doing none of this. He's doing this all on his own. He needs you guys' help. He would really, really appreciate it. Anybody's help. I mean, please do what you can. We'd appreciate it as well. And anybody who wants to pick up these GoFundMes on their channel, I mean, I don't have a lot of family members on my channel, but you might have a big channel and you might be able to do more than I can. Please do what you can. I'd appreciate it.
Man, my channel, it consists of your channel, it consists of Q's channel, and it consists of John Q's channel.
Yeah, I get you. Mine was there too at the beginning. Just hopefully. I don't know. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and put this on.
South Carolina to find my son. I had the responsibility still to this day to my home in South Carolina and also my responsibilities here. And I needed a little bit of help. So I reached out to the community. The community reached back to me. And to this day, the community has been the champion piece of everything I'm doing so this far. Making banners like you see right here behind, putting things on cars, trying to get awareness, renting out ATVs, UTVs, and everything we need to do searches properly. Using service.
Another thing, you guys, what is this here, way up here? A piece of the Jeep. How did it get up here? Explain it to me. I want to know how this piece got here.
When it hit the ravine.
So it hit the ravine and it flew up here?
Yeah, that's the part that goes around the wheel.
Right. But what I'm saying is, how is it going to fly up a steep hill like that? Like, how does it pop up? I really want to know how it would pop up.
Well, if you look at the maps, that side of the hill is not as steep as the one behind it. The one behind it goes straight down.
You're talking about this one right here?
Yeah, the one where the close is.
Yes.
It's like a step hill.
Okay.
You got a little incline, then it levels off. Then you got a little incline and levels off. And then you got another little incline, and then it levels off to where the road's at.
So right here is not as steep as it is here.
No.
Okay, so when it hit here, it popped up here.
When it hit there, the force of the vehicle hitting the ravine
Mm-hmm.
popped it off because it's only held on with little plastic clips.
Mm-hmm.
So the momentum of the vehicle, the force, it was still going. So anything loose would have kept going.
Okay.
So that would have popped off, and that would have flew over here.
Okay, so I have a question. Is this the bottom of the Jeep or the
Uh,
top of the Jeep? The
it's
top,
top.
right?
Yeah,
That's what I thought. So when we saw the damage on the right side, have we seen like the whole damage area? Because it looks like it
we
only
haven't
had
we haven't
minor
seen
damage.
we we haven't seen the right side.
Not yet.
But
Still?
yeah,
Okay.
but where the damage is, it's the right front in front of the tire,
Right. Right.
right there where it's laying.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my opinion, and only my opinion. What I'm thinking is that it was pushed or it was let go from the side of the hill that it's coming down.
Mm-hmm.
When it started coming down the hill, it hit the bumps and all. The steering wheel turned to the left, which would be the
Mm-hmm.
driver's side.
Okay.
By the time it got down to the bottom,
Okay.
it had already turned a little to the side and it hit.
Okay.
It bounced up, turned over on its side, and landed right where you see it at now.
Mm-hmm.
And from where it hit on the bottom of the ravine right there,
Right.
that would have put the damage to the right side, right above the passenger tire.
Gotcha. Hi, boss man Blake. How are you? Thank you for coming in. We
What
appreciate
up,
it.
boss man?
We're trying to get a funding going, like a GoFundMe fundraiser, so we can get help for Daniel's father, David, so he can go, keep searching for his son, who's, of course, you know about it. He's missing since June 23rd of last year, and he's needing funding. And we're trying to get him some funding going here. And it's going straight to the GoFundMe. Nothing comes through any Cash App or anything like that. It's all going to go through the GoFundMe. And whatever you could help, and if you can't help, please pass it along to your family members, friends, whoever you can, whoever you run into. Who knows? Maybe people on your Facebook, your Instagram, anybody, anything, any amount would help. And also have them sign a petition so they can get these the feds into this, the FBI, to help, go look for Daniel instead of the father doing all the work with the volunteers.
This is like aircraft, drones, or whatever. Everything we need to do the searches properly. To follow leads, to have gas money to go follow leads in different cities, to passing out flyers, making flyers to every place we can. So you can understand that it's a lot of resources used at all times, every day, every week. We constantly using resources. Money is constantly going out. So I'm depending a lot on the community. As you know, like I said, I was doing my investigation and also doing my search. And all my searches were based on different things. Like I said, at first, it was based on the place my son was last seen, and I was
So this is the sorry about that. We have a challenge for you, boss man Blake. We want you to also do this on your channel. We want you to do a fundraiser on your channel. That's your challenge, that you get a fundraiser going and get people on your channel to help as well, and do the same thing where you're going to go on your channel and do the same thing I'm doing and have people they know pass it on to the people they know, and then we're going to keep it going. $5 is not going to hurt anybody. Okay.
Yes.
Any denomination will help.
All
Any
right.
of
Pardon my absence,
okay.
guys. Hello, Boss Man Blake. I've never got to speak to you. I'm generally always in a chat when you're there, sir. But it's so nice of you to join us tonight, and I want to thank you for being here. As they were speaking earlier, the challenge that we're doing, what we're trying to do is start a chain reaction. So basically, today, I made my donation. Then I asked my mother to make a donation. She made her donation. And now she's going to challenge my aunt to make her donation. And she's supposed to challenge someone else. So the goal here, excuse me, is to start a chain reaction and get as many chains as we can possibly get started. We want to challenge channels and the subscribers of those channels to have their subs do the same thing, so we can have them go directly to please help find Daniel.com, and there's a donation key right there where they can click on there and make their donation, and also challenge the next person to make a donation as well, and just keep that chain going as long as we possibly can to get that funding going for Mr. Robinson as needed. And I am an admirer of your music, sir, and thank you so much for being here. And you were called out in the challenge tonight to help us do that. So if you
Yes.
could, that would be fabulous.
And I'm going to share with you guys the GoFundMe, how easy it is to get in there. This is what it looks like. You got the sign a petition, you got the volunteer search, and you got your donate button. Click on it, and it takes you right to the, it took me off of it, right? Yeah, it stayed on here. Let me reshare. Sorry, guys. I forgot about that. It always does that to me. Okay, so it's going to go to the funding. Okay. Please help find Daniel. And then you donate. Click on the donate button. And you put the amount that you want to put. And this is what you just add how much you want to add on there.
And once you make that donation, we ask you to challenge someone else to do what they can do. And then we're asking them to challenge the next person. So we're trying to get a chain reaction started and lots of chains going, because the more chains we can get going, the better off we're going to be in helping Mr. Robinson, with the funding that he needs to continue to search for Daniel. Yes, Boss Man Blake, that is the direct link set up by Mr. Robinson himself. That is the only website in GoFundMe that is affiliated with that family, and that's exactly where the donations will go.
Give me a second, guys.
And so your subscribers and all the other channels that we called out tonight, their subscribers can go directly to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Click on that donate button, and it will take them directly to the link set up by Mr. Robinson to continue funding his search for Daniel. And so, Boss Man Blake, we want you to also challenge at least 3 other channels to participate in this with us.
There you go.
You knew.
Yes, sir.
On a 2017 Jeep Renegade,
Mm-hmm.
the wheel clearance on that vehicle is 7.9 inches.
Mm-hmm.
On a 2017 Dodge Ram, the
Yes.
wheel clearance is 9.4 inches.
Yes.
And that's both 4-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine Daniel going over that kind of terrain with that small of wheel clearance. It would have bottomed out a lot of the time.
Right.
What do you think about that?
What are we saying?
I said, what do you think about the wheel clearance on it? Because remember, we were talking about the size of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
You wasn't sure how big the vehicle was.
Right.
That right there would put you knowing about how tall that vehicle would be.
Mm-hmm.
like right at 8-inch wheel clearance
Mm-hmm.
for the Renegade, but like 9.5-inch wheel clearance for a Dodge Ram.
Okay. So it's what, like about what, 3? Is it 3 inches off from
Probably
a
about
Dodge?
about an inch and a half,
About
two
an inch
inches
and a
at the
half.
most.
Okay.
But
Okay.
an inch off could mean
Mm-hmm.
feet off.
Right. So like 12 inches is a foot off.
Yeah.
Got you. I got you. I understand what you're saying. Hmm. I don't know. I still have questions on this case. It's crazy. Oh, wait a minute. I might have to share first. Oh, boy. So, as y'all can see, if I can do it, y'all can do it. And if you guys can't do it, you can get someone else to do it. We would truly appreciate it, and so would Mr. Daniel. I'm sorry, David
It's based on
Robinson.
the place my son was last seen, and also that website. Then secondly, like I said, where this vehicle was found. And because of everything that I found to this point, that would suggest that something possibly happened to my son, and that's possibly my son may have escaped somehow. Unsure of any of those answers, I have decided to open also a city search. And my city searches to this date has expanded. It started off in Phoenix, homeless population. Now it's expanded to many cities here in Arizona. And my goal is to reach every city in Arizona to put out word what happened to my son. That someone or somebody may.
Now, why is it he has to do that? Why is he over here searching for his son? Why aren't they helping him to search for his son? Why? Why is he doing all the work? Does he have to go out and get volunteers to go help him look for his son? This doesn't make any sense, guys. Like, come on. He should be either grieving, not I'm not going to say grieving because we don't know if he's, what's going on with Daniel, but I'm saying as far as like he should be able to be stress free and be able to look for his son without having to be worrying about nobody's doing their job and he has to go do their job for them. He should not be having to do any of this. He should not have to get volunteers to help him do this. Buckeye Police Department should be doing this with him, not him by himself. Come on, this is ridiculous.
Have seen something, say something, and may want to come forward. I organize and I pin for this tip line for anybody to be able to give out information, whether they want to be anonymous or non-anonymous. Give out any information they can, what they think they may have seen, or anything. Give us some clue or something. I also open up a reward for anybody who can give information or give us anything that would lead to Daniel coming home to his family, one way out of the other. And so, with all of this, you can imagine we're using a lot of resources and a lot of time. Well, to date, I'm coming to you again because I need some help. I need some real hard help. I have not gotten a lot from the local police department that I needed. In fact, just recently, they finally came out and did something that should have done on day one. Look down in the very well site my son was last seen. I was able to get them to get. They still haven't been able to get in that well that my son was last seen because they have equipment on that machine from the developers. But I'm still working on that. But it was able to put cameras down into a well that is north to where my son went missing.
Now that's another thing. They haven't even looked in the well that he was last seen around. Hey, beloved, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Yes, we're trying to get funding for Daniel Robinson's father to help him look for his son because the Buckeye Police Department is not doing anything to help him. He has to do his own forensic work, his own. He needs to get the tools and the equipment to go look for his son. And I don't get it. Why are they not? Is it why isn't that the first place they look for him? Or, even try to look for him. Let's just say, I'm not saying this is what happened. Let's say he fell in there. And because the person that was with him, you know, they didn't, it wasn't like their fault, but at the same time, they weren't watching him like they should have been watching him. And he fell in that well. Who knows? By now, he could have been saved if that's what happened. I'm not saying this is what happened. Let's just say that's what happened. They could have found him. But no, they haven't done anything. I'm talking absolutely nothing at all.
I was happy that they finally came out under my invitation to come out and do so. Thanks to the Buckeye Police Department for doing that. However, in my investigation, it includes getting the proper camera to go back into those same wells again. And the reason why, because when the Buckeye Police Department went in those wells, they had cameras that couldn't be submergible underwater. And I need things like that, cameras that can be submergible underwater. As you know, that well is at least 800 feet deep, 800 feet deep before it touches the water. So I have to have cameras that can go farther than that, and which I have in mind to do so. So, having to take this camera out there, I will be taking a camera down into the water and search every well in that area, um, underneath the water, to look down there and properly search these wells. And to do so, I need resources to be able to.
The resources he's needing is funding. Under you, if you see in the Nightbot, it has the GoFundMe. You could go directly to GoFundMe and go help him so he can, put some funds for him to be able to go look for his son. I don't know if you know anything about this, Bree Love, but his son's been missing since June 23rd. They found his Jeep. Um, 26 days later. Um, Also, they, the police department, like I said, has not been helping him. He's been having to do all by himself. He has volunteers that's helping him on Saturdays. The rest of the week, he's doing things on his own. He's also helping other families try to help locate their family members that are missing over there in Arizona. And all he needs is funding to help him get these tools, just like the tool he just mentioned. He needs a camera that can go underwater without it, getting messed up. So he needs one that's waterproof. I guess that's what they consider it, waterproof. So it could be submerged under there to be able to look for him if that's where he might be. They're looking for him everywhere. So like I said, and he just turned 25 January 14th. And this is his father on the video right here.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for coming, Bree Love. The challenge that we're putting out is anyone who can make a donation, whether, it just be a couple dollars, $5, whatever. We're asking people to go directly to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and make that donation. There's a donation key right there. You just click it and it sends you right where you need to be. Then what we'd like is for you to challenge another person and for them to challenge a person. And we want to keep this chain going and start as many as we can so we can get that funding in that account to help support Mr. Robinson on his search for his son, Daniel Robinson.
Yes. And his father, which is David Robinson, that's on the screen right now, he had uprooted himself. He literally has left his home from South Carolina to go look for his son all the way in Arizona. And the cops are not helping like they should be helping. Renegade, do you have anything to say?
No.
Anything else before I put the video back on? Sophia?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
No problem.
To purchase these equipment to do so. The second thing is because I've been doing research and also been doing investigation on my own ever since day one, my investigation had moved forward with all the information that I collected, everything that I have found. I'm getting closer and closer to an answer to what happened to my son. And to close some of these answers that I have, like I said, I need the resources. And the resources I need will cover the cost of getting this vehicle right here processed that wasn't done at the scene. To do this myself, like I said, I'm Daniel's father. I came to find my son, and I came here to make sure that the search for my son and the investigation and everything else is done properly. From day one, I've been on here on the ground. I'm not on vacation. I'm not running around doing anything but searching for my son. And I'm serious and serious on my job of finding my son. So, like I said, I had to start my own investigation along with hopefully getting the Buckeye Police Department to work with me. So at this point, like I said, finding out that this vehicle wasn't processed at the scene, find out that the clothing hasn't been forensics, no forensics have been done on the clothing. So these are the things I have to do myself, and it's very costly. So this is the next phase of my investigation. I'm processing this vehicle. I'm pro-
He's processing the vehicle. Relove, let me tell you something. They didn't do any forensics. All they did, what were they? What did they do, Renegade? Only they
They did a look, or they said that they took some touch DNA from the vehicle.
just a few little spots here and there.
They did it on, let's see, they did it on the push start. They did it on the gear shifter, the steering wheel, the seat belt, the driver's side uh, hand grip. Not sure if it was the inside or the outside. I don't think it said which one they did it on.
Right.
And then it seems like it was one other place they did it, and they did it wet and dry. So
But where they didn't do it is in the where the Jeep was found. They didn't do any forensic work over there. You know how like normally the police puts the tape that says that you can't pass that tape area because they're looking for things, making sure they don't, miss anything. They didn't do any of that. None of it. The father has been doing it. They handed the father everything to him, handed everything to him, his clothing, all his stuff in a bag, like his wallet, his clothing, his phone, everything in a bag, versus them looking into, making sure that there's nothing that they can find. He has to do all this. So now he's looking to have to pay someone to look through all the DNA and the forensics that they should have did when they found his Jeep. They did nothing. His phone, I'm sorry, not the SIM card, but the SD card, which is the one that has the memory for an Android phone, is missing. Foul play, 100%.
processing everything that's found at the scene, including the cell phone. I'm processing the computers that I have for my son' apartment, his personal computer. Everything that is electronic had to be processed, but at the same time, it costs money. So I'm put in the dilemma right now. It's very important to me to keep the searches going that I'm doing, the efforts with the passing out the flyers to, uh, following leads, keep my tip line up, keep this whole thing running, and remain here in Arizona. And also, I need to process and keep this investigation going. So, like I said, I need the help. I need the money to process this vehicle, to get the
Again,
process. But at the same time, it costs money. So I'm put in the dilemma right now. It's very important to me to keep the searches going that I'm doing, the efforts with the passing out the flyers to, uh, following leads, keep my tip line up, keep this whole thing running, and remain here in Arizona. And also, I need to process and keep this investigation going. So, like I said, I need the help. going. So like I said, I need the help going. So like I said, I need the help. I need the money to process this vehicle. To get
The reason why I did that so you could see how he look. I mean, he looks desperate for help, so he could keep this going to be able to keep looking for his son. He's very, very, very desperate, and I would be desperate as well if I was in his situation. If I was in his shoes, I would be desperate as well. I mean, what else could he do? He's doing everything. He and his volunteers on Saturdays are helping him, and he's doing the work the rest of the week by himself because cops don't want to help. Anything, you guys?
Yeah, he he's came a long way in this situation to look for Daniel, and he's not going to give up, so we're not going to give
No.
up on him. So that's why we're asking, you know, uh, put in whatever you can, and then challenge the next person, and then ask them to challenge someone else.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson has, came way too far to not be able to continue strictly because of money. When we can, help as much as we can, and just challenge our friends and family and other channels to put it out to their subscribers, and their subscribers challenge their family, and just let's keep the chain going and get that funding that he needs to continue, because one thing he should not have to be worried about is money. He should be able to just strictly put his focus on Daniel. So that's why we're asking people to step in and help us keep that funding going for Mr. Robinson so he can continue to focus on his son.
Right. Yes, exactly. Why do we always have to do their jobs? I don't know. Free love, I don't know. It's ridiculous. Renegade, anything?
Not right now. I'm looking up something to show everybody in chat.
Okay.
get the forensics work done. So I'm asking you if you can, just please, if you can kind of donate to the GoFundMe or any way that you can to help me do so. Because this is the key thing that's going to get me more of the answers that I'm looking for. And to finalize what happened to my son. I'm really close and I need this thing done. The Buckeye Police Department hadn't processed the vehicle the way it needed to be processed. In fact, I have these possessions because it was marked for safekeeping for my son to return and pick his things up. Because my investigation says otherwise, that my son wasn't coming back to pick up things and he's unharmed like the Buckeye Police Department suggested to me. I have to have this thing processed. I have to have the close.
Oh, by the way, Bree Love, guess what the Buckeye Police Department told him? He was going to get the Jeep. They were bringing him to the Jeep so he can take the Jeep, get it towed to wherever they need to tow it to. They told him that his son might have walked over to a monastery and became a monk. What kind of disrespect is that? Why would you do something like that? If you're going to say something like that, is when after you found him safe and sound, maybe, but you don't do that to a distraught parent who's going looking for their kid, who's looking for their missing son. Come on.
Process. And I need it done quickly. Because as you know, DNA, things like that is sensitive. And those things need to be processed as soon as possible. So I'm asking you, please, if you can help out any way you can, and keep me here in Arizona, and also keep my searches going. I need your help, please. Because like I said, things like that is sensitive, and those things need to be processed as soon as possible. So I'm asking you, please, if you can help out any way you can, and keep me here in Arizona, and also keep my searches going. I need your help, please. Help out any way you can, and keep me here in Arizona, and also keep my searches going. I need your help, please. Because like I said, I'm at a point now where I have to make two decisions: either suspend my searches for a while so I can get this process done, or just keep my searches going. And I'm at
Okay, that's not going to happen. He's not suspending anything because he needs to find his son. We're not going to allow this for him to suspend anything. I mean, the only reason why he's going to suspend it is not because he's giving up, it's because he can't do any more because of the funding. He just needs everyone and anyone who has any amount of money. It doesn't matter how much. It could be, I don't know what the least amount you could put in there. $5, $2, whatever you can put in there, the minimum amount to whatever amount that you want to put in there, that would be greatly appreciated by the father.
Good evening, Mr. John Q. How are you,
Oh,
sir?
thank you. How are you?
We called you out tonight, Mr. John Q. We're starting a challenge, and this is the idea, sir. Today, we were sitting around and we were brainstorming, and we were thinking, what can we do to help Mr. Robinson continue on his search? So today, during that brainstorming, we decided to start this challenge. So I made, and my husband made our donation today. And then we challenged my mother. My mother made her donation. My mother has now challenged my aunt to make her donation. Then my aunt is going to challenge someone else to make their donation. So, what we're trying to do is start a chain reaction of people going directly to please help find Daniel.com and click that donate button and keep this funding going to keep Mr. Robinson able to continue his searches as needed.
Yes, 100%. I've done my donation and I will be passing that on as well.
We're also challenging channels, Mr. John Q. We've challenged your channel. We've challenged Mr. Chris McDonough. So if we can pass that on to him at the interview room.
Boss
I've also
Blake,
challenged Renegade. You knew what channels have you challenged to put this idea out to their subscribers?
that would be Ms. V, Boss Blake, and Q Carlock.
Renegade. Who were the
Oh,
channels?
and the other one, I'm sorry, and the other one would be Grizzly, the Grizzly crime, true crime.
Yeah, so we're trying to set this idea in motion of these channels putting this out there to their subscribers to make whatever donation that they can possibly make. And then they challenge someone else to go to the website. And then they challenge someone else. We're starting these links to try to keep this funding rolling. So,
Yes.
Mr. Renegade, who did you challenge tonight, sir?
Trying to think of them. I know I did Scott H.
Mm-hmm.
I did Penny
Lip.
and Lip Lock No More.
Yes. John Q, what do you have for us today?
Step on up, Mr. John Q. Tell us what channels you will challenge, sir, to help us start this chain reaction of funding going directly to Mr. David Robinson.
Yeah, and I'll drop the link if you want to hop up and then you can say it. That way, I'm going to do a quick little short of this video to show that, to do the challenge part. So that way, directly to all the challenge, to the content creators.
Thank you so much, Brenda. You are awesome.
Brenda.
We appreciate it so much.
Yes, 100%. Thank you. Thank you.
And Miss Brenda, if we could ask you to do one more thing for us, we'd like for you to challenge somebody as well and have them go in there and make whatever donation that's on their heart or whatever they can do, and then ask them to challenge the next person.
Yes.
And they can do that at please help find Daniel.com.
Okay. Oh, no. You're fine. You're fine, John. I actually was going to do it tomorrow, but I have so much other things that I ended up having to worry about doing. So I was like, yep, we're going to go ahead and do it tonight. We're not going to even hold this off. We're going to go ahead and do it tonight.
Yeah, this is not going to be the end of this. If we can challenge just like, we did the Summer Wells, get these channels, even, Chris McDonough, Grizzlies, whoever would like to participate with us to challenge their subs to start the chain reaction of events, to get funding going in that account.
Exactly. Exactly. If you guys could share it out while we're in here, get some more people in here, we appreciate it as well. Send it to your sister. Thank you. Thank you for sending it to your
Thank you
sisters. We
so much,
appreciate you,
Brenda.
Brenda. Yes, we appreciate you.
Amazing. We appreciate you.
100%. Just so y'all can see, I wasn't doing it to like say, oh yeah, I did my part. No, I want to show you that I was doing my part. Not to be bragging that I did my part, but I want to show you guys how easy it is to do your part.
And today, my husband sent out a challenge to one of his coworkers, and he sent us information back that he was looking over Daniel's story, and we're fairly certain that he's going to make his donation and pass it on. So we're trying to start that chain reaction with as many people as possible.
Great. Thank you, Brenda. Appreciate you. Yeah, so if you guys can share this out, that would be great. So we can go ahead and get some more people in here and we can let them know what's going on and what we're needing to do.
Mr. John Q, I know you're not going to be a stranger. You're going to step up and say hello to us. We know you're busy. You're a busy guy.
Yes, we know. Yeah, we know you're
giving
busy.
you a hard time.
Yeah. All right, so let me go ahead and put the video back on. It's not a long video. It's only a 34.42 second video.
To process and do this forensic work. So I want to do both. I need to do everything. I need to do everything as possible that I can to find my son. And one of those things is processing his clothing, to get the DNA test done on it, the forensic work done on it, and to continue my searches, continue getting answers, continue looking, and things like that. So to be able to do those things, I need your help. And I'm asking you again, as a community, as a people, as a nation, to help me. My son has never given up on anything. I have not given up on him. To this day, I'm still searching. I've been here, like I said, since June the 26th, doing just that. Looking for my son, working hard every day, barely getting sleep. Just here, anything, the same thing any father and any mother would do, be on the front line for their child. But you know what? Sometimes we need help. And I'm asking you guys for help. If you can, please help me find my son. My son. Same thing any father and any mother would do, be on the front line for their child. But you know what? Sometimes we need help. And I'm asking you guys for help. If you can, please help me find my son. And help me get this forensics work done on this vehicle. You look at that. That would have been the first thing I'd done. Had I been here on day one, my son been missing. Had I had the proper equipment, had I had the resources like some of these departments have.
You heard him. Equipment, resources. He would have been over there doing what he needed to do, because Buckeye wasn't going to do it. So he had to pick up where they dropped the ball. He picked it up and he started working on looking for his son.
Or being able to reach out with people who have those type of resources. The first thing I would have done was process the scene. That's the first thing I would have done. I'm not a police officer. I'm not law enforcement. But you know what? I'm doing police work. I've been doing police work since day one. I've been doing the work that we rely on a department to do on day one. The job that we paid them to do, you know? I have been doing that since day one. It's very hard to wear two hats, or sometimes even three, to be a father and also to be an investigator. So, and also a coordinator to a search. So, it's a lot. It's a lot.
So right now, he is a father. He is a coordinator. He is the police. He is the one getting the volunteers to get out there. That's what he means by being a coordinator. He's getting the volunteers to come out and help look for his son on Saturdays, like I said. And the rest of the week, he's helping other families and looking for his son. I mean, How much more stretching can he do before he pops? Come on, guys. Can you please donate? We would appreciate it. He'd appreciate it. Everybody would appreciate it if you guys would just please help his family, everybody. Like, come on, please help him.
A lot done. You can imagine it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of brain power. It takes a lot of sucking up your emotions. It takes a lot to be strong. It takes a lot to be willing. And like I said, uh, I just need your help. I need your help, and if you can, please help me. I'm trying to be willing, and like I said, uh, I just need your help. I need your help, and if you can, please help me. I'm trying to collect the money that I need to keep my searches going, and also to do the forensic work that need to be done on my son's vehicle, on his clothing, on his computers. Process all that. Once I get this information, I need to get it in black and white, get it on paper, and then my investigation can be coming to its completion. As to date, I found a lot of things out, very disturbing things. But as you know, as you're doing an investigation, you keep a lot of things to yourself. It's very hard to play two parts of this thing. To know the things that I do know, and also to continue a search looking for your child. To keep your composure, to stay strong, and to make sure that everything is happening the way it should happen. You know, had I had the resources that I could have, when these things was turned back to me, this vehicle was turned back to me on July the 20th, the day after.
Okay. The video is almost going to be over, but I just wanted to say one more thing. No, well, not one more thing, but before the video is over, I wanted to say something as well. Renegade, and if Sophia, if you guys have anything to say, please say it. But right now, I just wanted to say he shouldn't be doing all this. He's stretched to the limit. He should not be doing this on his own, by himself. And now, like I said, if you guys can help, that would be truly appreciated. And if you can't do it, find someone who can, meaning pass this on. You can pass the video if you want to pass the video for information. John Q has information on this case. He has information on his case as well. That's where I'm getting this video from. I'm going to put this in the description, okay, as well as the petitions and everything that we need to get the petition going, the GoFundMe. All the information you need is going to be in the description. You guys have anything else?
No, I just want to, say thank you to everyone who is, willing to help out. And if we can start this chain reaction of channels and their subs, family and friends and their friends, and just keep challenging. Once we make our donation, it just at least one more person to put in their donation and to challenge at least one more person, we can get to you know, the goals that we need to reach to help Mr. Robinson continue his search.
Thank you.
And you can donate directly at please helpfinddaniel.com. You will see the donate button, and that goes directly to the GoFundMe set up by Mr. Robinson and his family. And that is the only GoFundMe that is a legit GoFundMe. So go directly to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, click that donate button, and you'll be exactly where you need to be. And that is 100% the only legit GoFundMe for this family.
Renegade, anything?
All right, now.
Okay.
It was found out there. It was turned to me from the Buckeye Police Department. The fingerprinting was done under my request that the Buckeye Police Department did at the time. A few days after that, after I had a meeting with them and I demanded them to do some.
Okay. There's some more information. They didn't even do their part, their little fingerprinting by themselves. He had to tell them, You guys, please do this for me. Please do this little fingerprinting, this little DNA on the car. They didn't even do it on their own. You have to tell them to do their job right. Are you kidding me?
some fingerprinting. I have yet got the answers from them on what their findings are. So I had to do those things on my own to get those answers. I have the vehicle. Also, the clothing. I have never yet got anything from that department about what was found on my son's clothing, or if anything at all. And and I haven't got anything that suggests if my son was even in the vehicle at all, or somebody else was driving, or anything like that. I have the airbags. I have everything I need to be processed, and I'm asking you guys to help me to do that, so we can come with these answers to find out what happened. And I can tell you, I'm doing hard work day and night. I'm not just out in the desert conducting desert searches. I'm not just out there doing city searches. I'm not just out there following leads and passing out flyers and putting out information online and doing interviews and things like that. I'm also at late at night doing investigation, putting everything I know, everything I found together in files and just understanding what happened to my son. It's hard to try to do all those things at once, but somehow God is helping me to do so. Sometimes I don't even know how I'm doing it, but you know what? I can't do it by myself. So that's the reason why you hear me say often, understanding what happened to my son. It's hard to try to do all those things at once, but somehow God is helping me to do so. Sometimes I don't even know how I'm doing it, but you know what? I can't do it by myself. So that's the reason why you hear me say often. I think the volunteers who come out there every week, these people are amazing. They come out there every Saturday, taking their Saturdays away out there every week. These people are amazing. They come out there every Saturday, taking their Saturdays away, maybe from their families, from their friends, things they may want to do. They're burning their own gas money to come out there to do things like line searches that I also need very much. So if you guys can come out and help me do the line searches because they're very important at this point. As you know, my desert searches is not a rescue search anymore. It's a recovery. Because if my son is out there, we need to find his body. We need to find his remains. And to do so is very important. We have to change the way we design our searches. We used to utilize a lot of UTVs and ATVs, which we still do, but we also mostly need people on the ground doing line searches. So, like I said, I can't do the searches without people like you who come out every week.
Hello, John. How are you? Thank you
Good
for
evening, John. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you all doing?
We're doing great, sir. Certainly hope you are.
doing good.
Yes, outside of the ice and snow that we got hit with.
Are you
Mhm.
freezing?
What-
Staying warm?
yeah, definitely staying warm.
Good, good.
Yeah, so I see that. I said, wait a minute, did I miss him? Am I late? I said, wait a minute. When I read the
No,
text
no,
message
you're
that
not late.
you
We're
know,
we're
David, I
going
said,
to do this as often as we can, just
Mhm.
like was done for Summer Wells, and talk about this day after day after day after day till we get where we need to be.
okay, how you measuring the fundraising to the GoFundMe?
Well, basically, they're just going to directly to the website, please help find Daniel.com, making whatever donation they can make, and then they're challenging the next person, and then that person will challenge someone else. And so we're challenging also different channels that are willing to help us. Um, Put this information out to their subscribers, and their subscribers put it out to their family, so we can start a series of chain reactions of funding going directly to the GoFundMe listed on the pleasehelpfinddaniel.com webpage.
Right, right.
Yeah, that way
Okay. Because
nobody's touching the money. They're donating
Exactly.
straight into the
Right.
GoFundMe.
So,
Right.
for example, my husband and I put in a donation today. Then I sent the website to my mother, and my mother made her donation, which she sent to my aunt. Now we're challenging my aunt to send that to another person, and then she's going to challenge that person to send to another person. And so we're trying to start as many of these links of people going directly to the website as possible.
Right. No, I get the whole idea. I mean, it's a great
Yes,
idea.
sir.
You know, I was just looking at the fact, how are you measuring it? How much money has gone into this particular fundraising so far? Do we know?
Um, I am not really sure,
I'll
sir,
pull it
because
up.
I know. Let me see. Let's take a look at it. I don't think it's been quite a bit yet, but we're gonna get there. Hold on one second. Let me pull
So
up.
right now they have 192,674.
Okay, 192, 674. Yesterday it was 192, 424. So it has come up some. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there has to be a way to measure, especially a project like this. I was going to talk to David about isolating the specific GoFundMe for the equipment, for the forensics for the Jeep, the
Mm-hmm.
clothes, forensics for the computer, isolate that into a GoFundMe itself.
Mm-hmm.
That way, from day one, from ground zero, you can actually see the fund grow from there
Okay.
based upon his request regarding the funding that he needs for the specific project and processing that he's looking for. So I
Okay.
was going to
Okay.
talk to him once he gave me a call to see if he could set that up, isolate it away from Daniel's GoFundMe,
Okay.
okay, so that this way that all of the money and proceeds go directly into the processing, the forensic processing of these items, and we can actually see from $0, everyone who is and has made a contribution, we can see it from the $0 amount and watch that baby grow. And
Okay.
it's specific, it is specific, so everyone will be able to see from that GoFundMe established what he's using that specific money for outside of Daniel's GoFundMe. That way it's easy to
Okay.
measure. He sees its growth, he sees where the numbers are going, where they're
Mm-hmm.
coming from, and so on. So, but it's a great idea. It's a great
Okay.
Okay.
idea,
Will
and I was
that be
going to talk to him.
another GoFundMe link directly on the that page, sir?
That would be a separate GoFundMe account specific to the processing of Daniel's Jeep clothes and other items that he's making a a plea for, if you will.
Okay.
We
So
talked
she's
about him.
saying, right? She's saying, is it going to be like on the same site as the Please Help Daniel
Yeah, I
finance?
haven't. Yeah, I haven't talked to David yet, so we haven't put anything in place
Okay.
uh, for that. But I'm sure that a link will be posted on the site specific to the GoFundMe
Right.
that he's
Right.
talking about now.
Okay.
Um, I had spoken to him about producing a new video, which is the video you're watching now for this month, specific to that item. And then was
Okay.
going to talk to him about setting up a specific GoFundMe for that,
Okay.
rather than to get it mixed up with the other GoFundMe, which is specifically for Daniel, and of course, keeping him there in Arizona and covering, so that this way it's easy for him to itemize everything when it comes to a paper trail.
Right.
Okay. Do you know what
Yeah.
the goal for that specific GoFundMe will be, Mr. John Q? Is there going
And
to be
that,
a
and
goal that we're
once
going to
again,
set
it's a,
to work towards?
yeah, that once again, that's a great question. And once I'm able to find out from David, what is all of this going to cost forensically? What forensic company are you going to use? What are the items that he is looking to get processed? All of that information is what I was going to talk to him about, so that this way that information can go right directly to that GoFundMe. And when people go
Mm-hmm.
there, they can actually read what the costs are going to be from XYZ company that's going to be handling forensics, that's going to be checking the computers, all of the items that he needs checked, and to
Mhm.
spell everything out plain and clear for folks so that this way, when they make their contribution, they automatically know where they're making their contribution and for what reason and what purpose. So,
Okay.
Gotcha.
yeah,
Thank you.
so I was going to talk to him in a couple of hours because we've got plenty to talk about from the items that we were behind the scenes working on
Okay.
to get him that information for tomorrow's search.
Okay.
And he's got that information now, so we were just
Great.
going to fine tune a couple of things regarding that. And then I
Okay.
was going to ask him after Summer Wells's birthday was over, because everybody's over on the other side of the moon right now.
Yeah. I
And
know.
yeah, so that's
Mhm.
why I didn't do anything tonight. I says, well, let me just, focus on following up with him and getting things prepared for tomorrow. And then when you text me the GoFundMe live that you're doing now, I said, well, that fits perfectly. It's after Summer's birthday. A lot of the community will be freed up and they'll begin to see, especially those folks that's been following the case, they'll begin to see that we're
Mhm.
taking a different step in a different direction. But when I saw
Yes.
you live, I said, uh-oh, am I a day late, a dollar short?
I
So
know. Yeah. I
yeah,
know Miss B is going to be going live tomorrow around that time, so I was like, oh no, we're just going to go ahead and do it today. Yeah. So we changed that up,
yeah,
and
okay.
we can go again tomorrow evening, but it'll have to be after Miss B. So just
Yeah.
making sure
So
that we don't
once I'm
step
able
on
to
any
speak,
toes.
yeah, no, once I'm able to speak with him and get that GoFundMe established, now
Okay.
we've got that specific GoFundMe to work on. It's all spelled out. The link will be there. We'll be directing a lot of folks to go there,
Mhm.
$2, $5, whatever they can spare, so that we can
Yes.
begin measuring its progress
Yes.
according to the goal that needs to be established based on the company that he chooses to do it. You know,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. But it's
John,
good to see y'all hanging out.
do you have any channels that you think that you could challenge, sir, that might be willing to, step in once, this ball gets rolling to, help us put this word out to their subs as well, sir?
Oh yeah, I would touch base with everyone that supported the Summer Wells case.
Awesome.
I mean,
Awesome.
you know, send that out in an email, and then do it, and then do a series of lives based upon the goal. Let's say, for instance, for example, he needs $10,000 to cover all the costs forensically. So we
Hmm.
set up a goal to at least go 7 days, 7 day goal for 10,000. And measure that. you
Hmm.
know, and have everyone share that information on their channel or have them come over to Miss Q's channel, Miss Unu's channel, Randy's channel, sort of like crowdsource everyone into one channel or multiple channels can do it, simultaneously, which way works out.
Okay.
And that's what I was going to talk to David about so that this way he's on board. He knows what we're doing and he can easily monitor it because it's going to a specific account.
Okay. All right. Okay,
Yep.
so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the same thing earlier so that way I can just go ahead and clip this out and make a quick video to do the
Okay.
challenge for all the content creators. So we're going to go ahead and start with you, John Q. Do you have 3 different content creators directly that you want to use that you would
Well,
want to challenge?
not until I speak with David about the whole GoFundMe setup isolated on that account. I wouldn't be able to talk to anybody yet because I need to speak with
No, no,
David
no, no.
first.
Just challenge by saying their names because I'm going to do a video. So basically, I'm saying Grizzly, True Crime, Q Carlock, Bossman Blake, and MTGTV, and then Renegade and Sophia. Whoever wants to go next.
Um, Tonight, my challenge was to the channels of John Q, Chris McDonough at the interview room, and Renegade.
And Renegade.
Well, I think I'm with John. Let's see what Daniel says, and
Okay.
then then we'll
You mean David?
or David, sorry.
It's okay.
But
He's
let's see
been
what
working
David.
late.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
let's see what David says first, and then
Okay.
we can move on with this. But
Okay. Okay.
and
Yeah, but
that'll
not to take away from anything. We thank everyone who has already made their donation to the GoFundMe account that's already established under the Robinson family. I
Yeah.
extend appreciation and gratitude and thank you for that. Um, and that's great that you're jumping on this idea. This is good because we just got finished talking about. I spent almost 3.5 hours with David on the phone. We were talking
Mhm.
about some ideas, and
Okay.
one of them was this video. I said, "Well, you need to get something fresh out there. Let them see what your searches have been looking like, the equipment that you need, everything that he talked about on the video. We talked about
Mhm.
on the phone. So
Okay.
he's already started the campaign progression, if you will, of everything that we're discussing. So I want to make sure that we keep him on the same page
Okay.
and do it in a way that it's measurable.
Okay.
We can start from zero amount, and then we can see 25 go in. We can see $2 go in. We can say,
Okay.
and then we can go from there. How many days we're going to be doing it? I would do it for a week, and give
Mhm.
it a hypothetical small goal of about $10,000.
Okay.
Just hypothetical right now. And
Okay.
I'm going to talk to him about that. And if he's good with it, he'll go ahead and set up the account. I'll get that information through via email to all of the content creators now.
Okay.
And this way we can do a mini marathon, do a mini GoFundMe marathon, just like we did for Summer Wells,
Okay.
and really start to pull uh, the folks into the story to support
Mhm.
the story, and then we'll be able to share that GoFundMe account and show its measurability hour to hour, every 2 hours.
Mhm.
Here's where we are now. The same concept that we used for the Summer Wells Reward Fund.
Okay.
And as we get closer to the goal, we'll do fireworks and to really engage people into what we're doing. And
Yes.
it'll be
100%.
awesome. It'll be awesome.
Okay.
But I really want to get him on board and on the same page as we. So we're not doing anything around him or about him without actually
Okay.
hearing from him saying, sure, yeah, definitely, I'll set it up. And right there gives us consent to green light, let's go. And
Okay.
then we can go ahead from
Gotcha.
there.
Okay.
But I love you guys. You know that, right?
Yes, we love you too.
I love you guys. I mean, the hard work and effort. And I forgot to mention too, I didn't know whether I was supposed to mention it, but I wanted to make sure I checked with Miss T. Sophia first, because she's been, working hard, putting together the facts, connecting the dots, and everything else like that. I don't want to name drop her on my channel without getting consent from her to say, yeah, John, you can include me in there, and then this way, because I want to shout you out, for
Mm-hmm.
your hard work and effort,
Yes.
working behind the scenes too.
Yes. Yes. Sophia, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at something, guys. Yeah,
You
I have
don't
no
fall
problem
asleep
with
on
that,
us
John.
now.
No, 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 no. I was just looking over something on my phone real quick.
see. You knew I put
Yeah.
this up because I wanted to show your chat exactly what the desert that David is working in looks like
Okay.
from a 180 view.
Okay.
And I mean, you have like waist high to even over your head trees out here in certain spots.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a high lookout over over the whole desert that's out there. And you can see it looks like you can see for miles.
Mm-hmm.
But where this was taken was up on a very large hill.
Right.
So if you're down, let's say you're down here,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't be able to see that far because of how tall all of these trees and bushes are.
Right.
But you can
Wow.
also see how less dense the vegetation is out here.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what this desert looks like.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of people think, well, the desert will be flat. Out here, it's not. It's like rolling hills.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like the desert that they show on the movies where people are sweating and it's just
Yeah.
straight, sand.
I mean, there are deserts like that,
Right.
but out here, it's a different kind
Yeah.
of desert.
Yeah. Wow.
And you
That's a
got
lot of area to search
Yeah.
too.
and you got like large rocks
Hmm.
all over the place.
Yeah.
And I mean, snakes, the rattlesnakes, all loves to stay right in these rocks.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
But yeah, I just thought that would be something neat to show the chat and all, just how dense the desert out here is.
Yeah.
I mean, you have plenty of vegetation out here, but then it's like in spots.
Yeah.
When you say that, John Q, it would be like
Yeah,
the vegetation
definitely. I
would be
mean,
in spots.
the terrain, the many square miles of rolling hills, flatlands, wash roads. I mean, you name it. I mean, if just looking at this 360, blows you away. Should blow you away. And imagine if you were standing out there
Right.
taking a look at what we're looking at, personally. I mean, it's mind blowing to say, wow, we've got to search all of this.
It's a lot of searching.
That is tremendous, you know.
My mind
And
would go to where do I start first?
Right.
right, right, exactly, But having the Jeep as a marker and then swirling out
Mm-hmm.
into wider spaces, wider circle, wider parameters, that would be a great place. And I think this is what they've done according to the sector map that we've been studying together, all of us.
Yeah.
They've been expanding square by square by square by square, but it's the line searches that will do the most critical work outside of the vehicle searches, because you're driving in a vehicle, you may be going 10, 15, 20 miles an hour, taking
Right.
it slow, but your eyes can only see but what they can see. After a
Mm-hmm.
while, everything in the desert is going to look like everything in the desert.
I
Right.
mean,
Right.
even if you're only doing 5 miles per hour, it's still
Yeah.
going to be the same way.
Yeah. Whereas a line search, you're right there on the ground. If you kick something and it's a bone, now you can see it. If you roll
Right.
over it and it's behind you, you just missed it.
Right.
So a line search is really going to do some powerful justice in really checking for livestock droppings, you know, uh, livestock footprints, directions, um, a whole lot, bones, you
Plus,
name it.
out
And
here, if you're in a vehicle, you can only go certain places,
Mm-hmm.
where you can go more
right.
places when you're on foot.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
When you run up
So
on a bunch of bushes and stuff like that that has like trails through it, you can walk right through through the bushes,
Right.
and check around the bushes. If you're in a
mhm,
vehicle, you can only go so far in. Then
Right.
you have to get out and then go walking.
Right. And plus,
yeah.
when you're in a car, you can't go as slow as walking. You're literally like passing up things by driving.
Yeah.
So it's better to walk.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why I was saying, even if you did it doing 5 miles per hour, that's still
still
I
pretty
mean,
faster than need to
that's
be.
like a hasty search.
Yeah,
Your eyes are not
that's
going to be able to
something that
keep
Well,
up.
Buckeye Police Department would do, kind of like just roll on through that kind of searching they're doing.
To me,
They're
Buckeye
not
would
doing
just come
anything.
right down this road, have one
Just
guy
drive on
looking
through.
out this
Yep.
way, one guy looking that way, and they're
Yeah,
just
just
coming
right
down.
on through. That's exactly what they would do. They're not going to take the time to get out of the car. None of that.
I mean, we know that Daniel, or we believe that Daniel didn't have any clothes on at the time because all of his clothes were at the site.
Right.
So how are you going to find something orange, or something red, or something blue
Right.
if he's not got any clothes on? You can't.
Exactly.
hmm
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the desert out there.
Yeah. So one thing for sure. Um, Tomorrow, perhaps at around this time, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that area that David was searching where that well was, and Renegade knows which well that is. The one with the tire on it.
Mm-hmm.
That'll hopefully be checked according to David's plans, as well as most likely starting to go into that area where the lion's den is 3/4 of a mile from where that well is. And
Mm-hmm.
we'll have our answers, based on that location, at least by tomorrow night. I hope. I hope.
And this is the well that had the large tractor type tire over it, Mr. John Q.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That well cover was breached, and I said, David, that's where you need to look because it's
Mm-hmm.
open. It's a cover that was there to secure the well in and of itself. So when you got that kind of an item sticking right in the face, you didn't have it on your map because somebody was supposed to put it on the map, but didn't put it on the map because they didn't want them there to begin with, and we know who that
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a high priority. You want to search that well because the cover has been breached by that huge truck tire, and it's a telling sign. It's a very telling sign. So, and that's
Yeah.
only what about a quarter of a mile from where Daniel's Jeep was found. So it's
Yeah.
an ideal
Approximately
place
how
to
far
look.
down did those wells go, John? Do you know, sir?
He
Because
said about
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, he said about this particular well could be when he first came upon it. He made a good guess of about 800 feet, but most of those wells can drop anywhere between 800. Let's start there, up to 12, 15, 2,500 feet deep.
Wow.
You see, all depending on what that well is going to be used for, what it was used for, why it was closed down. Okay. And so that is one of the closed wells in that area because it's got a security cover on it that's been breached. You see? So from 800 to 12 to 1,500 to perhaps even 2,500 feet deep, this is where the equipment is needed, especially line equipment that'll take a camera down there, a submergible camera, because if he hits
Mm-hmm.
water, now he's got to go in the water and check to see if there's anything in the water.
Right.
Yeah. But he said it hollowed out. He threw his voice down there and it echoed back in a very
Mm.
deep pitch. Yeah. In a very deep pitch. So he knew by guesstimation that well was about 800 feet deep. He couldn't see in there like he wanted to, more or less get a flashlight in there to find out how really deep the well is. So that's the one he's going to check tomorrow, along with I think Renegade and myself. We found several other wells in and around that area that need to be checked. That information is on his desk right now. So whatever his game plan is for tomorrow, it's not only going to be checking that well, but there are certain other wells and mines in that area. I think there was
Mm.
an additional. It could be anywhere between 3 to 9 additional mines and wells in that area that need to be checked. So he's right where he needs to be right now. And
Yeah.
that's why I told him, that's why I told him on our last live on Q Squared, I think this is going to be a turning point because he's now able to find and locate where these wells are, number one. Yet, number two, now he needs the equipment to get into these wells and mines and really do a thorough check of them.
Right.
And hence, this is where we come in uh, regarding the GoFundMe marathon because one piece is in place. Now we go to phase two. Let's get him on board. Let's open up a separate account. This way, it's all measurable. And then we can share it with everyone, get it on board across the board, and run it for a number of days. We could say 7 to 10 days. Let's see if we can hit $10,000, and then go and do it. We can come on here. We can include that on Table Talk, Q Squared, Q the Truth on my channel, Miss Yunu, based upon your time schedule, your
Mm-hmm.
channel, Miss V on her channel, Miss Queen Talks Crime on her channel, Randy's channel,
Mm-hmm.
and a host of others that we can now include because they can see something solid about this case. Because whenever you mention GoFundMe, everybody starts to get leery. They have questions. Is this
Yeah.
really going to be going towards doing what they say they're going to do and things of that nature? So
Right.
credibility and accountability has to definitely be on top of the table for everyone to see clearly that
Right.
what's established is real, what we're doing is real, and the help that's needed is real.
Yes.
Yeah, so
For sure.
I'm glad you guys fired it up.
And so when
Yeah.
Mr. John Q, when we're asking our friends and our families to pass along this information, should we should still be sending them directly to the website, and that second GoFundMe is going to be linked to that, sir. I
Yeah, I'm
just
going
want
to
to be
talk to
aware of what I'm asking
yeah, I'm
people
going
to
to talk
do.
to David about that. Yeah, I'm going to
Okay,
talk to David about that because that's a central hub where everything is operating from
Right.
right now. So having it there specific, just like the GoFundMe that's there now, specific, excuse me, specific in supporting this case for Daniel, now he'll have that same clickable link right beside it for forensics. And then everybody will hit that and then go on that GoFundMe page where it
Mm-hmm.
will explain everything in a line item what needs to be checked, how much it's going to cost, the company that's going to do it, and when we can foresee after it's done, when we can possibly project and foresee when a report is going to be generated, and then put that in a PDF and then also include that. So, one receipt is going to support the other receipt, which the whole website will support that particular GoFundMe.
got
Okay.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And it only makes sense. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's going to be a question that, others are going to have as well. Oh, this
Right.
Daniel Robinson. Oh, they got to GoFundMe. Oh, what's this all about? You know,
Right.
Obviously we're sharing the videos that we're doing. That's one thing. But to go to the website and then find this information is going to be of major help for everybody to have access to.
Okay. So,
But brilliant
so
question.
you don't know when
I
it's going
like.
to be put up, right? You don't know when it's going to be put up because in that
I'm
way we could
telling
just hold
when I
off
get
on
him when I
this.
get him on the phone. Yeah, when I get him on the phone, I'm telling him to do it ASAP. We want to
Okay.
do this up and running and get started by
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
So that we can
Yes.
we have a goal. If even if he has a goal in mind and doesn't have a company yet to do it, but he may have information about how much it cost already. Great, put it on the GoFundMe.
Yes.
Let's get the information out there, and then run a marathon on it.
Yes.
You know,
100%. Yes.
Yeah, so
Agree.
that this way, whatever company he does decide to choose to bid this work out to, the winning bid obviously is going to get the work, but we want to make sure that this company is, reputable. They've been in the industry for years. They know how to process these things. We're asking for DNA testing on the airbags. We're asking for prints and DNA in the car. We're asking for forensics to be performed on the clothes,
Mm-hmm.
for specific chemicals of all kinds, I mean, whether they be from the airbag or whether they could be part of what may have gotten on Daniel while he was out in the desert,
Mm-hmm.
a host of things, you know,
Okay.
and to have his computer and his phone
Yes.
forensically analyzed and check for data information that may be still up in the cloud that David can't get to yet or he can't read,
Yes.
and get that analysis done as well. And that's going to be a core action because it's going to really answer a lot of questions
Mm-hmm.
and be a turning point in this case. Not only as to what happened to Daniel, but who he was talking to, who he was communicating to, who was trying to communicate with him during the time he went missing. If
Mm-hmm.
anybody did try to contact him during the course of him being missing, all that will be forensically analyzed and checked. And
Okay.
I mean, I'm excited about it because we're going to get answers once this process is done and completed.
Yes, absolutely. But as
Yes.
soon as we can get that the ball rolling and the train moving, and and like I said, set a chain reaction of friend telling a friend, and get them into that specialized GoFundMe to go ahead and get that money in there as quickly as possible, so he can
Yes.
go
Right.
ahead and get the answers and information that he's looking for.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Because now's a good time. It's the beginning of the month, so to speak. It's a short month, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
And, before you know it, we'll be in March. Springtime is going to be coming around. And a lot of things between the seasons, coming out of winter, going into spring. Hopefully, we find Daniel before the spring. But transitional season aspects of this also play into an important part of this too. Because as we transit from winter to spring, it's going to get hotter in
Mm-hmm.
Arizona. That's for sure.
It is.
Yeah. So, who better to turn up
I've
the
never
heat?
been out west. Does it get cool there in the summertime in the nights? Because I've heard it gets cool in the desert at night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It does get cool, especially now. Because
Uh
we're
huh.
more in a winter climate, minus the crazy storms that pop up from time to time. At night could go down to 20, 10, in that ballpark during the wintertime. But in the summertime or spring and summer, you could have a very warm, still night. Those still nights where there's no blowing of air whatsoever and it's just
Mm-hmm.
muggy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Arizona's
I
got
grew up
dry
in
heat.
Florida, so I feel that to my core.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Arizona's
very
got
hot.
dry heat. So
Yeah.
there's really no moisture there, for, people to sweat and things of that nature. When I went out there with my mom many, many years ago, we stayed out in, I think it was, we visited Phoenix and we was out in Tucson.
Mm.
And oh my goodness, a regular day just outside was 104.
Yeah. It's hot.
Oh wow.
And
It's hot.
yeah, we went in November. We went in November and it was 104. And I said, oh my goodness, and it's nothing but dry heat. It's
Mm-hmm.
just dry, but you could feel it. You could definitely
Yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I
You
got
get
my heat stroke from is
You get
Arizona.
tanned
So
real quick out there. If you don't know what you're doing, you can get tan real quick. I mean, I stayed out
yeah.
there for a couple of hours, and I came back as dark as my background around me in the chat right now. I came back dark. I
Oh.
said, "My goodness!" So I had to stay out the sun.
Yeah.
But what took me outside was a swimming pool at the hotel. So I stayed in the pool and got in the shades. Went back in the pool, got in the shade. Back in the pool, got in
Man,
the
I'm
shade. Went
solid
in the
white. I
hotel,
can't
air
do all that.
conditioned. What's that?
I'm solid white. Look at my avatar. I'm solid white.
Jesus. Yeah, that's
Yes,
where I
man.
had my heat stroke, John. I had it. I had a bad one. I almost didn't make it. Um, yeah, my kids were like, "Is my mom gonna be okay?" and they told her we're going to do our best. They told them that. So it was rough. It was 112 degrees out there.
Oh,
My
no
Worst
kidding.
Yeah,
time
my
was
Wow.
fuse
heat.
went out on my truck. My fuse went out. I didn't know what was going on. It just stopped out of nowhere in Arizona.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it was on the 10. That 10 is no joke. So
Mm.
My
I
worst time was at the beach. I stayed in the ocean all day long. I had blisters that was the size of my
mm,
thumb.
gets hot out
Wow.
there.
Yeah, it is.
But you also got to
So,
look at all that salt water too.
so I figured about another hour or so, uh, David will be in from his city meeting in regards to the flyers that going to be picked up tonight
Okay.
over on East Meadow. And once he's in, I told him to, give me a call and let's fine tune some things since the video now is done. Let's fine tune the GoFundMe. Let's get it separated, isolated away from the other GoFundMe, and we can have that account established where we can measure it and go forward from there. Okay, we've got $10, folks. Okay, $10 in the last hour. Oh, $2 more in the next,
Yeah.
and we can start to really build up on the
Right.
excitement of a growing account that started from zero,
Right.
and let everyone see that we're going to be running a certain amount of time on it, give or take 7 days, 10 days, however which
Yeah.
way we decide to do it, at a specific time that we'll be coming back online. Tomorrow at 12 noon, we're going to go from this time to 9 o'clock, or this time we're going to go from 12 to 12, let's just say. So it'll be
Yeah.
12-hour run marathons in the course of 7 to 10 days to get to 10,000, to get this work done for David,
Sounds
kind of
great.
thing. But it'll be out there. It'll be
Okay.
out there.
Okay.
I want it up and running like a couple of hours before you started this live.
Yeah. I know. I wish.
John said like
Yeah.
yesterday.
I
Yeah,
wish.
like yesterday.
Yeah.
That's last week.
Yeah.
How's that?
Right.
Yeah. So that's going to cause too. Um, and this is the part I love about it too. Randy and I had discussed this. That's going to cause a lot of pressure on the Buckeye Police Department.
Hmm.
He's got another GoFundMe. He's really serious about getting the forensics done on that Jeep. Hey, whatever his name was, let's just say, did you do a thorough job when you did the swabbing on that car? You see what I'm saying? They'll start to question
Hmm.
themselves,
Hmm.
and mhm.
What ball did we
And
drop?
rightfully so. Right, exactly. And especially if you're having
And if
a professional forensic company
yeah,
that
Daniel
law
gets
enforcement
out of
does use. Yeah, that law enforcement uses. The car is out in Arizona, so it's
Hmm.
not going to be much for him to have that vehicle taken by the company. They'll have the equipment on, they'll have the gear on, they know exactly what they're doing in terms of moving physical evidence from one location to another. Isolating that and securing the evidence is another. Um, I just wanted to ask David, aside from himself, Jeff McGrath's associate, how many other people touched that car once it was released to David? Because they're going to need a line item of numbers of people on there, so that this way, when they do find their prints and what they did when they analyze the crash data, they're going to automatically isolate them away from any other prints that they didn't Buckeye didn't check for, and then the page is going to turn.
John, may I ask you a
You know,
question about that, sir? Were they wearing
yes,
gloves when they were doing that?
Buckeye Police.
I'm talking about, well, anybody who was in that vehicle after it was recovered. The way
Right.
the way it seemed to be handled was not with a lot of care. So, I'm curious as if to, were gloves worn when people were inside looking through there?
Yeah, and that's an excellent question. We will find out if they were wearing gloves
Hmm.
and if they weren't wearing gloves, especially
Okay.
the people, especially the people that took that car from the police compound and brought it over to three Lawcon over to where Jeff had his area of isolation for the vehicle. And then when they process that vehicle's crash data and whatever else they did, all that's going to come out in the report that's going to indicate to us whether they wore gloves or not, whether they wore anything that got transferred, if they wore hair nets or hair caps to prevent hair follicles and hair getting into Daniel's car. Whatever they did, it'll be in and around that Jeep if the
Mhm.
Jeep wasn't touched after that fact. And I
Right.
wanted to know also from David, since Jeff is no longer working with him, as a private investigator, how does he have that Jeep secured now? Is there a cover on it? Does he have it isolated in the garage? Has there been any access to that Jeep by any one of his family members, be it his daughter or anybody, because
Right.
he's going to need to know that information as well.
Right.
The hard thing about forensics is that if it's not done when it's fresh,
Right.
24, 48 hours, and you allow a lot of time to go by, DNA and forensic, that starts to break down depending on how you
Clothing being
store.
put in a paper bag.
Yeah, he said that there was in a paper bag, and the paper bag is sealed. And I said, good. Nobody's touched that. That's one good item, especially clothes, because clothes is going to capture and retain DNA far better than vehicles being exposed to the elements, moisture, weather, anything that vehicle might have experienced during its transfer from Three Law from Jeff's place over to where it is now.
Mhm. Yep.
But I think the airbags is really going to tell us a lot. Uh, we're trying to put Daniel in the car, so that's the assumption going in. If Daniel drove that car, crashed the car in the ravine, all right, let's find Daniel in the car then. And that's going to
Right.
show up on the airbags, the steering wheel, the gear shifter, the door handles, rear view and side view mirrors if he had to make any adjustments, the seat belt, um, any equipment that Daniel touched in the back of the vehicle, his
Mhm.
normal everyday equipment. If any of that was touched by Daniel, that's going to be checked. His canopy is going to be checked.
Mhm.
His laptop computer, as well as his phone, all electronics will be checked for data analysis.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of that, once it comes together, a lot of it's going to really, really tell us the story and timeline, because that's exactly what David's looking to put together, according to what we talked about.
Right.
Timeline. And
Yes.
everything has to be documented. Documentation. But the timeline is going to tell us a lot about the time Daniel got there, the time Daniel left,
Right.
where he could have gone before July 19th,
Mhm.
when that vehicle was exposed by the rancher and found by the rancher.
Mhm.
Because prior to that, we're getting an understanding, but we'll have a better one later. Prior to that, the vehicle wasn't in the ravine.
Right.
So if it wasn't in the ravine, where the hell was it? And this is the reason for the forensics to happen, because it's going to tell us who touched that car outside of Daniel.
Mhm.
If they were in the car, the passenger side, the back seat, in the back, I think the rear hatch door, there's
Mhm.
like a hidden handle or something like that, a magnetic handle or a hidden handle where you have to touch it in order to open it. So that can be checked.
Yeah.
Glass fragments, if they collected the glass fragments from the location, which I don't think so, which they should have done, because we saw the glass fragments on Hidden Arizona's video when he
Mhm.
took his foot and started kicking and shuffling it in the desert. I said, why in the hell they take the damn glass out of the desert?
Right.
Yeah, it
Here's
was
David
still
now.
there.
Yes.
You hear it?
Mhm. Yes.
That's David now.
Hey.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're just on a panel with Miss Unu, Mr. Renegade, and Miss T. Sophia on Unu's
Oh,
channel, and we're
hello.
sitting here uh, discussing. You heard she said hello. Everybody say hello.
Hello, Mr.
Hello.
Hello.
Renegade.
Everybody, you heard him? Yeah, David says hello to everybody. Yeah, so you got the information that I emailed you? Okay, great, great. While I have you on the phone, um, we're together talking about the GoFundMe, and I wanted to know if it was possible to set up a separate GoFundMe for the forensics that you need to have done to the vehicle and Daniel's clothes and other items. I say that only because it can be an account away from the original account that you and Lavisha had set up for Daniel. It'll be an isolated account that can go on the website right next on the homepage, and we can begin a campaign, a marathon, GoFundMe marathon for the forensics to be done. How much do you think it would cost to have the forensics that you're looking to get done? Okay. 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 A roundabout guesstimate for the close. What do you think?
His boots, both, and his what's called things, the vest.
Right.
But that's off the top of my head. But yeah, I was quoted to 2,500 for each item.
Okay. Okay. So that would be round ballpark of about maybe 10, 12,000, give or take.
Yes, that's give or take, right?
Okay. And that's excluding the Jeep because that's an entirely different ballpark, right?
Right, that is, yeah, because it's gonna take until some other little stuff. I think like fibers, something about getting the fibers, and then I have to do the airbags. The airbags gonna be separate too, because the airbags, Jeff, he cut the airbags out, but that's gonna be separate. So
Okay. And the Jeep where you have it now is secured in, I guess, in a garage someplace or a storage facility where no one has got access to it except you?
right, that's correct.
Okay. All right. Um, okay. Yeah, because I mentioned to the team, I said, I wanted to talk with you about that, establishing a separate GoFundMe for the forensics, the Jeep, everything. And obviously, you have to select a company that's going to actually process all these things, or maybe two different companies at the same time. Whoever gets the.
Definitely that's my attorney. She's working that process out right now.
Oh, okay.
We found somebody out of state. I don't really want nobody here in Arizona doing touching anything.
Right. No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Good. Good. Once you're able to establish, I guess, the cost and everything, please let us know so that we can begin a campaign GoFundMe marathon for Daniel to get this work done for you. That's what we're here talking about right now.
Right.
I'm glad you did the video. The video came out great.
Yeah, I was worried about that. Make sure I hit on some points that people can understand the need. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's the whole point I'm trying to make. That big need. You know what I'm saying? Because I already looked at the 2,500 per item. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's gonna be kind of costly. So I had to make a decision about the searches versus this kind of stuff and how long it would take. That type of deal.
Right. Well, we want to go to work as quickly as possible. If you can find out that information through your attorney, that would be great. Shoot me an email as to how much all of it's going to cost. And so we can begin a campaign, 7-day, 10-day campaign, marathon it, see where we are in about 7 to 10 days from the goal that's set, whatever the amount you need. And then get that up and running, get it up and running on Facebook, get it up and running with content creators on YouTube, and begin to spread awareness based upon that video need that you're looking for right now.
What's your logic? What's your logic came from doing separate? Recommend I do a separate GoFundMe for that. What's that logic?
The logic explains what you currently need the help for. And it's a measurable thing from $0 up till you get to a goal platform, whatever it may be, 10,000, 15, 20, 25,000 to get the forensics work done. This way it's separate. It's separate from Daniel's account, from expenses being covered by, the apartment, you, gas, whatever it is that you need. This would be, let's just say, crowdsourcing and fundraising specific. And it can be identified on an independent GoFundMe that you can put right on the website, right next to the original donation button. And you can specify the reason why you need the funding now. And everyone can go to that website. We'll direct traffic to the website. They'll see the button there for forensic fundraising for Daniel's Jeep. And then they'll click that button. And then you, just like you set it up for Daniel originally, you could set that separate GoFundMe right next to it, giving them an explanation as to everything that you're telling me now. We're going to need this, that to be analyzed by, this company. It's going to cost this. We need the Jeep processed by this company. It's going to cost this. The computer forensics company that's going to do the phone. You can itemize everything, telling the story as to the reason why you need funding to go here. And obviously, it's an isolated account where you can measure your fundraising goal pertaining to what you're looking to do right now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and it keeps a good paper trail, because it's two separate things. One, the account that you have right now is for search activities. Right. So now the second GoFundMe will be for the forensics, for cameras, anything that you may need in terms of equipment, which goes toward more your investigation part than the search part.
Right. Okay. I get your logic on that. Okay.
Yeah. So you can keep one account specific to search, and then the second account specific to forensics of all the items that you're looking to get done right now. It'll be much easier. You're not mixing money. You know exactly which account is going to hold which and how much is going into each account at any given moment.
Yes. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm don't confuse people. Confuse people sending two different places.
Right.
I did have some people giving all kind of different ideas of trying to fundraise and things like that. But that's good. I'm listening to it.
Okay. And we know that you're going to be out there tomorrow. You're probably just getting in from the meeting from tonight regarding the flyers and the city meeting and everything, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
We all get everything set for tomorrow. We're good. And like I say, this semi-relaxed time, or whatever you call it. Get ready for tomorrow morning.
Right. So you would need to speak with your attorney about the GoFundMe for the forensics.
Yes. She's finding a place. Cause I told her I didn't want anybody here in Arizona. That's obvious. My opinion. Everybody somehow connected. So I really need it outside of Arizona. So that's what she's looking for right now.
Okay, good. Any time anticipation on when you think she'll be able to get you that information so that we can begin the fundraising?
I hope at the beginning of the week. I'm gonna try back with her probably Monday. Make sure that she's straight on that part. What she can come up with, because I know that she's. I gave her specific
things, you know what I'm saying, specific things that I would like to see in a person whose lab that is going to. That's the point. And you know, especially make sure it's no ties with this department,
Right,
you know, and
right.
things like that. So
Okay. And if you have any questions regarding the information that I sent you concerning those mine and well maps, you know, you can call me back, and we can walk you through. You know, I already opened up a link for my table talk, where we can go backstage and discuss, you know, that information with you. Just in case you need to, you know, go back to the website to navigate through that. But it's pretty much cut and dry from what Randy was able to put together, what we've been able to isolate as key information to those wells and mines and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be up pretty much you know, a late one, and you know, but we wanted to also find out about the GoFundMe campaign, if it was going to be okay with you for us to begin a GoFundMe campaign. We wanted to set some parameters up, such as how many days, how much is needed, and all that information. And this is the reason why, you know, establishing a separate GoFundMe account for this specific fundraising event to take place. It's not going to take away from the search, because if people want to donate to the search, they can. They you know, want to donate to the forensics, which obviously you made a new video on, which I thought was great, because you covered the bases straight up like we talked about. And that video could be a part of that page or the main page, and we can direct everybody to you know, that forensics for Daniel's, you know, Daniel's Jeep forensics for Daniel GoFundMe part, and it'll be very easy for us to, you know, get that exposed right away.
okay, well, I'll give you. We definitely talk about that. I'll give a call to my attorney Monday,
Okay.
and see what she had on that part. But yeah, I have pretty good idea. Just for the first part, like I say, the vehicle I wouldn't know, the electronics I wouldn't know. You know, I don't have any kind of figure about how much that would cost, but
Right.
yeah, I'll get close to that.
Okay. So whatever it is, and whatever company she comes back with, or companies that she comes back with, and you can give us a round ballpark figure as to what we need to shoot for, then we can go to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so that this way I can get the word out to other content creators, Miss T. Sophia, Miss Yunu, Randy. We can start pulling together content creators to get this GoFundMe on their channels and start to get this thing multiplied. I'm sure you're going to talk to Priscilla from the Grizzly team about the GoFundMe and everything, and we can get people's focus in and on this GoFundMe and get this knocked out and out of the way as quickly as possible.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So at best, what we can continue to do at this point is direct folks to the original GoFundMe right now to keep dollars flowing in that direction. And up until you get back to me with the amount that it's going to take to do the forensics, then we can take it and pick it up from there, and then establish the forensics GoFundMe and start to work on that campaign. How does that sound?
Sound like a plan.
Okay. So we'll keep the dollars flowing right where they're going right now, and we'll start to promote that up until you get back to me on the rest of it, and then we'll get that set up and knock it out.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at this. I'll discuss with this later about this mines, because I'm going out there tomorrow. But I'll discuss with that later.
Okay. We'll talk later then. I'll send you the link, so that this way, you know, whatever time you want to talk about it, I'll be up, and then this way you'll have the link, and you can join Randy, Miss Yunu, Miss T. Sophia, myself behind, you know, this closed doors in our private room, and we can talk about the rest of it. Okay.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
All right. Well, definitely get a bite to eat. I know that you've been out there pretty much all day and running and you know, doing this meeting and stuff like that for tonight to get set up for tomorrow and everything.
Yes. And y'all have a blessed night, and take care of yourselves.
Okay, you too, David.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. All right.
Okay.
So there it is, right directly from David. You know, he would have to put together, as I said, the information and having the separate accounts so that this way, we can laser beam the fundraising. So we'll continue with the search fundraiser that's already established. Continue
Okay.
to send dollars that way until we establish the second account for the forensics and everything. So,
Okay.
and then we'll talk to
Sounds great.
David about the information pertaining to the wells and stuff like that. I'll send you guys a link, and we can go backstage and go over that information and any new information that we can address. We can do it then.
Okay.
And let's see. I think this is really going to work out.
Yeah.
I mean, just obviously for the clothes, for each piece, forensically, each piece at 2,500 a pop. Wow.
That's crazy. You ready with the Java? I mean, the monster, huh?
Yeah, he's got his Java
Let's go to
monster.
work.
I'm up, John.
Mm.
Let's get to work. Yeah.
I got chocolate
Yeah, I'm
milk.
excited about this. You got
Yeah.
chocolate milk?
Yeah, with some coffee. I'm gonna put some in my coffee. I'll be up.
I gotta bring you some whipped cream.
Okay.
I
I
gotta
don't
bring
have
you some
that. I
whipped
should
cream.
have got some.
300
I didn't get
milligrams.
it.
Oh my
300
goodness.
milligrams of caffeine. Look at that. Triple shot.
And
I'm ready.
Mhm.
no whipped cream,
Do
Randy.
you
huh?
use that
No
for the
whipped cream
water
to
in
go
your
with it.
coffee maker instead of actual water, Renegade? You just pour the monsters in as the water and funnel it through the coffee
I
grounds.
use 8 cans to make my coffee. And it's the
Holy cow! Okay, 8 cans. What is that? What is that? A 12 ounce, 16 ounce,
16 or 15 ounce.
15
Mm,
ounce?
mm.
Oh, 8 cans times 15. Oh, do the math. Do the math. Oh my
Uh,
God.
8 cans times 300 milligrams of caffeine.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
2,400 milligrams of caffeine.
Mm, mm, mm.
Wow. Mr. Boss Blake is in the
How's
house.
it going, Boss Blake? How are you? D
Hi,
Love
Boss
is back.
Blake.
Hello, D. Hello.
Now
Thank you
you
for
see
coming.
how I can do it late nights.
So, so what I'll do is, since the room is already established, I'll go ahead and send you guys the link anytime you're
Okay.
finished with this live.
Okay.
Then we'll meet backstage and go to work on the rest of the information.
All right. Go ahead and send us the link and we'll hop off of here in a couple of minutes. As soon
Sounds
as we get
good.
done doing
Okay.
that. Okay.
Okay. Miss V.
Thank
Miss V
you
is
for
in the
coming.
house.
Yes, she
Hi, Miss
is.
V.
Yes.
How are
No,
you?
not a problem. Thank you for having me. Thank you for
Yes.
having me.
No problem. Anytime. Anytime.
All right. So we got our work ahead of us. This is going to
Mhm.
start to come together, and it's been since October of last year, since the last time I was involved in a marathon, and it excites me because this kind of work is where the heart is. When you
Yes.
can help fundraise for a just cause to get some work done, because that work is going to be the turning point in a case or story to turn it around.
Yeah.
That's where I live. That's where I live. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
100%. 100%.
All right. I'll see you
Marathons
guys
is
later.
like my,
Okay. See you in a little bit.
You doing marathons is like me researching. I love it.
Yeah. When you get up and running, you can't stop until you hit the goal. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Team no sleep.
Yes. Exactly.
All right. I'll see y'all later.
Okay. See you in a little bit.
Thank you, John.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Anytime. So we got 7 in here. Anybody has any ideas what else we can do to get this going? Like, you guys have ideas to get people actually, in this, like all the way in, because that's what we're trying to help David get that money, get the funding so he can get going with his forensics and his the tools, the equipment that he's going to need. He's going to need all this stuff. Let me put a little bit more of this video, and then we're going to head out. Hold on. Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm going to step away for just a few minutes. I'll be
Okay.
back. Thank you.
Hey, I'm gonna jump on off here and head on over toward John Q. So I'll see y'all over there here shortly.
Say that again.
Said I'm gonna head over to John's
Oh yeah,
room.
I'm about to get off. That's what I was showing that one last part. We'll be there in a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Please donate if you can. We would totally appreciate it. Mr. Daniel, I'm sorry, David Robinson will appreciate it if you guys can donate. If you can't, please pass it on so someone else can donate. We appreciate you. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Good night. I'll be right there.